What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are brand new here, man, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry. I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scary and creepiest videos on the net, on the web. That's gonna make us question everything. Everybody sit back, put on your thinking caps. Let's do what we do best, Seekers. Stay with me, y'all. Let's seek the truth.
He's stuck in France in the year 2055.
This guy claims he's stuck in France in the year 2055 and can't find a way back. And everything he shows in his videos looks disturbingly unreal. For several years now, he's been posting clips that depict a future completely devoid of people. The footage shows empty streets and total silence. The roads are deserted, yet vending machines and terminals are still working, as if the country itself still exists, but its population has completely vanished. In some videos, he walks into stores and shows shelves full of video games made for the PlayStation 7. Even more unsettling, every single game on display is designed for that console, a system that doesn't even exist in our time. One detail in particular really alarmed viewers. A nearly empty vending machine with just one bottle left inside. The date on it is clearly visible, April 2055. According to him, it's a drink that hasn't even been released yet in our present day. Even more disturbing is the moment when he enters the Louvre and films the Mona Lisa from up close. The room is completely empty. No guards, no tourists, as if time itself has frozen. He does the same with the Eiffel Tower, showing it surrounded by absolute silence and emptiness. What makes the story even more unsettling is the fact that he started posting these videos long before the explosion of AI and modern visual tools.
Tap on that.
Oh, hell no, man.
But y'all see this shit, that's from the code, right? That shit don't make nothing, right? Then I look over, I must be high or something, bro. What the fuck?
It's drawing. What the hell?
The code did that.
So look, water tower all the way the fuck over there. Zoom in on it. Yeah, see? Alright. Now look. See it on my camera. And then
I saw that. It's like no black.
not a thing. Don't share. What the
Glitch in the Matrix. Right there, y'all see that, bro, right? How was he the only one that caught that? Some weird stuff going down in 2026 already, bro.
You seen these robots that are like doing chores for you in the house?
Yes, but I didn't believe that.
They're 100% real. $20,000, you can buy them right now, and they show up in your house.
And they do all your chores.
They do laundry, they do dishes, they do vacuuming, mopping, all this stuff. The only catch is that the robot is ran via someone else in the country.
Nah, dude.
Working with a VR headset somewhere else
Controlling
in the
this
whole world.
robot.
Controlling
Anybody
the
that
robot.
could afford a $20,000 robot would not want somebody knowing what the inside of their house is.
That's what I'm saying. But I wonder if they're like, you get it, and then eventually it'll be AI.
That's their promise. We don't have the technology right now, but later on we hope to get that technology that where it has house mapping and it's able to do it by itself. My first thought was like stalkers. Stalkers would
Of
apply
course.
to be like the robot in your house.
Yeah, it's like you would have to show me proof that there's a firewall, that this robot cannot download violence into his robot
her.
brain and wake up one day and just be doing this to you while you're sleeping in bed and choking you to death.
But they would
Yeah.
know where you live. They would know the inside of your house. They would know all your privacy.
I just feel
there's-
like that's not gonna fly unless you
Yeah.
did it for like $100, which is impossible. Like,
Yeah. But it's
I
happening.
think a lot of
It's
people,
terrifying.
will be open to it though. You know, it'd be
It's
really fun.
100% normal now.
Is to buy one of these robots and just like put it just like in a haunted house.
oh my god.
And you just sweep this whole house. It's like the scariest thing for
Give
this
a
person.
crucifix and holy water.
Oh my god, dude.
Dude,
Put it on a roller coaster.
this is what I need you to do.
I need you to do this for me.
He's just
for
vomiting
science.
up in his home in Korea.
What if the
Man, when y'all getting that Neo robot, bro, I heard that they was out, man, but the fact that somebody else is controlling it, bro, so they're gonna have access to your information inside your house, know where you live, know your secrets and all that. I said, no, for me.
These aliens that people keep talking about are not even aliens at all. Because this exorcist right here, named Chad Ripperger, he don't think those gray aliens are extraterrestrials at all.
They here.
He think they're more of demonic. He think they're demons. Demons. And the reason he said he believed that is because he said he listened to a lot of stories where people was abducted. He said, and the same stories they told is the same things he witnessed when he was doing like an exorcist or some shit for a demonic case. He said they were one and the same. Y'all, and it could get deep at people thinking that these are fallen angels. Then you got a lot of people thinking they're in the government or they run the government.
They here, bro.
So I don't know, y'all. I need y'all thoughts down below. What do y'all think? Do y'all think these are real aliens that come from outer space, or do y'all think these are demons?
You heard that? What a creeped out by the freaking mannequins.
Nope. Oh, fuck no.
He finds the mannequin had suddenly stood up. Freaked out, he went back downstairs. After posting the video, a past employee reached out to him, telling him that the most haunted place in there is the housekeeping room. So the man decides to check it out. What happens next is horrifying.
And he went there?
I know. And going under. Don't tell me if they'll see or hear anything. I ain't going in.
Somebody's in that room, bro.
Anything?
Now, just recently, the account has been shut down, even though he kept the hospital's name in secret to not get in trouble. As of now, whatever's haunting the rooms in this hospital in South Carolina remains a mystery.
Noted, South Carolina. We won't
The
be on it.
US-Iran war has now created a giant hole in the sky, and we are going to pay the price. Literally. You see, if you open Flight Radar today, you'll see something quite astonishing. A giant hole where one of the world's busiest aviation crossroads used to be. Several countries have now entirely closed their airspaces, causing thousands of cancellations globally, major disruption at airports, stranding thousands of tourists across the Middle East, and crucially, sharply increasing costs for airlines who are now forced to take longer, more congested, fuel-consuming routes. And I wonder who's going to be paying the price for that one. But it's not just a hole in the sky creating a hole in your pocket. There's also now a hole in the ocean, too. Because similar to the airspace, there's now a giant gap in the world's busiest oil shipping lane. Not only is a staggering 20% of the world's oil and gas shipped through the Strait of Hormuz, but also 34% of global fertilizer, large amounts of methanol, pharmaceuticals, etc. As a result, the price of oil and gas has sharply risen and will continue to have wide rippling effects as long as these holes exist. I mean, some experts are predicting that oil could reach $120 per barrel for the first time in years.
Damn.
So, the most important question is, how long? But he did leave the door open, saying,
But whatever the time is, it's okay. Whatever it takes.
I mean, the World Cup is only 4 months away. Will Iran be participating if they're at war with the host nation? You see, Trump said,
We're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future.
but right now, the future is looking pretty damn expensive.
Well, I do own a time machine. I don't know if I regret it. The guy who sold it to me eventually went on to say that I was an alien. When I tried to ask him, I couldn't get back to 1952. He said, "You're an alien. I know you. You're an alien."
Oh, so he said you fucked up?
Yeah.
Did you really buy a time machine?
I did, yeah.
Tell me how that was so
There's a gentleman by the name of Art Bell. He had a talk radio show. And,
I know that guy.
And so I would listen to it all the time, and there was a guest, the great Stephen Gibbs, and he had created the hyperdimensional resonator, which was a time machine. And he was talking through the entire process of what it's like to go through time and all these different things. And And I was like, this is fascinating. So he was talking about getting the Time Machine catalog. I was going to order the catalog. And then at the very end of the show, I wrote down the address. And then when at the very end of the show was like, how much is it? It was $375. I don't know if I'm ready to travel through time, you know. And I, you know, of course I asked, what do you think? Like, could you go back and get lottery numbers? He's like, oh, when you go through the zero vector point and you go through God,
I was gonna say
you're never gonna want number. You're never gonna want anything material ever again. Then I was really freaked out, right? And you know, I laid it on my chest,
I want to hear
travel through time, and I just passed out. So I don't know. It could be, look, this amazing life that I have right now at the Howie Mandel Does Stuff show with the kids and friends. Like, this could be time travel.
Did you get in the machine?
No, it's literally like a box that you sit on the side and you put like a foam cord around your head and you put like a magnet on your chest.
How did you know you weren't going to get zapped?
Look, I was young.
Did you pass out?
I did. I was drunk though when I tried to do the first one. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, these birds are signaling us, man. Nature is talking, bro. Imagine seeing that outside. They signaling, bro. Gotta pay attention to the signs.
So you're telling me that this whole time numbers might be controlling more of our lives than we realize? And the day you were born, the exact date, and even the letters in your name can all be converted into numbers? You motherfuckers. Numbers might be the code of reality itself. And when you learn how to read numerology, it's like unlocking a secret map to your life. And the numbers actually start talking back to you.
Literally trapped your star that was floating around in space. They've erased your memory like they do when you die and you go into light. They recycle you and they erase your memory and place you back into an embryo. Listen to me, people. This is real shit. You need to wake the fuck up, okay? You're a star at your heart. You've been cubed, okay? Your kundalini is a trap. You're a free energy machine and you can't detect it. Now you're forced to take a shit, get horny, get hungry, get a pain in your heart, a frog in your throat. Your feet, where your souls are, okay? 2 below you, 3 above you. Listen, you can put this shit together, people. They rub a lot of stuff in your faces called lesser magic. It takes your blood off of their hands, all right? You've been worshiping Saturn along with everybody else. You take your energy from the one true sun and plant an animal, and then you feed it directly to the black hole sun. That's all you do, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You breathe Satan's chemical air. You drink his fluoridated water. You eat his poison-rich foods. And when I say Satan, I mean Saturn. Saturn is, obviously, there's a cult on Earth, and they've got us all worshiping Saturn.
I'm actually starving. Oh, shoot. Let me wipe this off. There's so much jelly left over.
What is that?
Can you get that for me?
Oh, no. He freaky. What are you doing with that tongue, bro?
Anyways, yeah, just making a quick PBJ. It's like 2 a.m., but, you know.
The weirdest peanut butter and jelly ever.
Right? I miss when my grandma would just make these for me.
What is bro on? He different, bro.
It's fun to stay at the bar.
Oh, y'all saw that?
Deep in the forest outside of Memphis, Tennessee, off of Highway 61, there lies a 3-acre property known as the St. Paul Spiritual Temple, also known locally as the Voodoo Village. Founded in 1957 by a voodoo practitioner and Freemason named Washington Doc Harris. His family turned this 2-acre homestead into a fortified sacred world. The property is filled with over 100 monumental sculptures in wood, steel, cane, and beads, known as the degrees of Kraftwerk. Kraftwerk referring to the Masonic degrees. Rumors of rituals and sacrifices going on in the forest at night at this property had been spreading since at least the 1960s. But according to the family, this place is a Christian healing center based on Masonic protocol with African voodoo roots. Voodoo Village is also tied to the 1990s Memphis rap culture.
Under the sea. Woo. That was a jump scare. Okay. Fox News at Dubai. What do you see? I ain't spotted yet.
Watch right here.
Oh, saw shooting across.
What the fuck was that?
Pick a slide.
Pick a slide, bro. Okay. We're going to pick the red slide. Seekers, which y'all picking? I chose red.
The slide you picked will determine where you have to spend the next week. Slide 1, the Stillwater Atrium. You stay in a serene pool surrounded by stone arches, columns, and quiet water.
Nice.
The temperature is always perfect. Fruit grows nearby, and a small bar lets you serve any drink or food you want at any time. Sometimes you think you see someone standing just outside your vision.
Okay.
But when you look again, nothing is there. It is probably nothing. Do not stare at the statues for long periods. If you avoid eye contact, you will remain safe. You sleep well, but your dreams are vivid, strange, and deeply unsettling. Again, do not stare at the statues.
No staring.
Enjoy your week here. The scenery is beautiful, and you have nothing to worry about.
Great. My choice.
Slide 2, the Black Shore. You stay on a beach locked in permanent night. The sky never brightens, and most lamps are broken or missing. The sand shifts constantly. Long snake-like creatures live under it and erupt upward without warning. They strike your legs first. You can sleep on the plastic lounge chairs, but never on the sand. Food is limited. Your only source of food is to eat the snakes despite the bitter and revolting taste. Fleas cover the chairs and your skin non-stop. The ocean is black and freezing cold. Shapes move just below the surface, and entering the water results in immediate injury. There is a very rare chance you find a vending machine near a signpost, packed with your favorite snacks, but this is not guaranteed for everybody.
Wow. What did you choose, Seekers, man? I chose the right choice. I chose slide 1, bro, red slide. I made it, man. Comment down below, bro, if you picked the right slide, man. I'm gonna watch him sleep.
So Charlie decided to touch the animatronic I found.
What in the Five Nights at Freddy's is he doing?
What have I done? I think he got mad, bro.
You think? You could tell it's off by the tone. He's trying to draw him in. Oh. What the hell's under that man's home rug? What the?
Y'all, whatever this thing is, it's getting a lot bigger and closer. Oh my God, are you guys seeing this? These things look like giant planets in our atmosphere. You can clearly see, look at that, man. I don't even know what to call it. And it looks like the rainbow can go out for more, but something is disturbing it, y'all. Look at the atmosphere. Did I forget to mention that this thing is in Australia, also known as the Down Under, and this thing is big. Look at the bulb, bro. What is causing this? So when the first ring came out, scientists were calling it a sundog. So now that we have a double ring, what are you guys gonna call it now? What are you guys gonna call it now? Could this be the reason why the clouds are a lot lower in our atmosphere as well too? Like literally, I'm in Florida and the clouds are a lot lower than a lot of the buildings in Florida. And Florida is below sea level. This thing looks like a giant magnifying glass, y'all. Look at that, y'all. What is getting ready to happen on this planet? Anybody knows? Because there's no way they kept this type of information from us and not realizing that we were not going to see it for ourselves one day. But just like Chicken Little says, man, the sky is falling. Let me know what you guys think about this video. The shift is here. Y'all obviously see it. Let's get it. Look at the birds. Peace out.
Is that why the clouds getting closer, bro? You see the difference, man. You can definitely tell, bro. Is he in here? He must be in Australia. And he in Florida. They mess with the clouds, bro. And that down under.
20-year-old Sudishka Kanaki believed that their daughter drowned in the ocean in the Dominican Republic and are pushing the authorities to declare her deceased. Sudishka's parents also said that they don't believe Joshua Wright, who was the last person seen with their daughter before she went missing, to be involved in her death. Joshua also testified that Sudishka's parents hugged and thanked him for trying to save their daughter's life. Now, authorities were really surprised that Sudishka's parents asked to declare their daughter deceased after only 12 days of her going missing, when usually investigations go on for months before they stop looking for someone. But I don't know, in this case, it seems like their parents are genuinely convinced that Joshua didn't do anything to hurt their daughter, and I guess after seeing all the surveillance footage of both of them together before she went missing, the only other possibility is that she drowned in the ocean. This is the last time Sudishka and Joshua were seen together at the resort, and a lot of people have speculated that perhaps Sudishka was abducted on the beach after Joshua fell asleep, because remember, they were both really intoxicated. But I don't know, that seems very unlikely, especially at a resort in the Dominican Republic where, for the most part, it's pretty safe.
Imagine going to Mexico on vacation with your friends. The resort you're staying at slips something in your drink. You end up at the hospital where they began demanding extreme amounts of money for treatment. They won't let you leave, and you realize they were trying to steal your organs. Well, that was the unfortunate reality for these college students who went to Cancun for vacation, ordered water at a bar, and immediately slumped over. One of them was then rushed to a private hospital where she was so heavily sedated that she couldn't even open her eyes or even speak. They immediately knew something was up when the hospital demanded $10,000 for treatment, $25,000 for proper treatment, and $5,000 if they wanted to leave. At one point, the hospital even said they're going to take her to another location for an MRI, which the family researched is a cover-up for S-trafficking and even trying to take her organs. And they couldn't even go to another hospital because the hospital they were at refused to send their medical records to anywhere else. And after 30 hours, they had to get a $30,000 private plane to medevac her to a hospital back in the States. Prayers to the poor people that went through this. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
I'm scared. Gotta be careful what you put into it, man. When you out, that's why people say, man, you always gotta watch your drink, man, because you don't know, somebody could slip something in it. That's why I say if you walk away from your drink, if you go somewhere, man, just throw that drink away, man. It's not good. It's not valid. And I wanted to go to Cancun too. I'm gonna have to take that off my bucket list.
Scared for Miley Cyrus because the biggest conspiracy theory about her right now is that she's trapped in a cult. Yes, a cult. Did you notice she dropped the biggest song of the year, then disappeared? Did practically zero promotion for her album. Completely moved on to a new song, and the only promo she did for that was in a soundstage with her team, and the tweets were saying, I love that Miley's new cult is letting her do promo for her new single. Turns out it's because Miley has allegedly joined the cult, the Modern Mystery School, and has been hanging out with people from this school, along with the leader, Gundini Gundison, which sounds like some Sesame Street made-up name. To get an idea of the Modern Mystery School, they're a cult that vigorously heals your past trauma to make you the most enlightened, best version of yourself. And on the cover of their website, it says, you are not perfect the way you are. She's been seen and posting, hanging out with Lily and Blue, two light workers and healers from this cult since February 2023, and she's been seen chugging down Manipulation Station to their little cult gatherings Anyways, we know this is for the cult because on the website it always says know thyself. People think what this cult does is break you down completely to build you up into who they want to be. A lot of past members say that they experienced really horrible trauma, physical, financial, and sexual exploitation. He instills major fear about impending doom or personal safety onto his members to keep them in line. Miley even said she never wants to tour again, and one of her reasons was because of the feeling of her personal safety being in jeopardy. Miley's fans fear she's susceptible because she definitely has trauma to exploit in recent times, saying that she's working through the trauma being harshly judged in her 20s, and the major trauma going on right now with her famous split family. Before I say the craziest part, make sure you follow so you finally know the craziest conspiracy theories about all of your favorite celebrities and request who you want to see next. Fans also think she's susceptible because she got involved with a cult figure after the Bangers era, Wayne Coyne. They did a lot of strange things together.
When are we going to cancel this appropriation, Polar Bear? Polar bears aren't even white. That is stolen valor. Okay, background. I follow this photographer who you should too. Shout out Liana. She nice with the lens. And I saw this picture, which honestly made me want to make this video because it's time someone exposes them. Like I said, polar bears are only white in passing. Their skin is black. If you focus on their snout and like the area around their eyes, you can peep the melanin. Okay, Twinny. Don't call it a fiasco, no Lupe, but it's all black everything under there. And you probably never noticed because for most people that are close enough to see it, it's also their last, and all black is all you finna see. The reason you probably feel lied to is because their hair is hollow and translucent. You know, translucence, the main suspect in this messery. It helps the landlord of the north to trap more heat along with black skin to absorb sunlight. Because remember, not only do they live in Satan's skating rink in an ice-chilled desert, they're the only bears that technically classify as marine mammals. No, for real, like whale, dolphin, seal timing. And they'll spend 20, 30, sometimes 40 miles straight swimming. So being white passing at sea helps them not pass tense and see all white. And if it still don't make sense, here's something that blew my mind, right? So like take saran wrap, clear plastic saran wrap, and crumple it up. You see how something that was started off clear now looks white when it's compacted? It's the same thing. Also, nobody ever told me baby polar bears have pink tongues that turn bluish black as they age. I have no idea why. Like actually, if anyone has an answer, I'm listening. But they say giraffes have blue tongues to avoid sunburn, so I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Someone tell me, but until then, the less I know.
This is the photo that was taken just hours after Bryan Kohberger unalived the 4 University of Idaho students. This picture is so eerie to me, with his little smile and his thumbs up, and it really just makes me wonder what is going through his head at this time. From the investigation, we know that the 4 victims were likely unalived sometime around 4 a.m. on November 12th, 2022. This photo was taken on Bryan's phone at 10:31 a.m. that same day. Prosecutors are now intending to use this selfie as evidence against Bryan in the case. They're hoping that the picture helps support Dylan's account of the person she saw inside of the home that night, specifically with the bushy eyebrows. Now, the defense team on the other side is trying to convince the judge that the eyewitness statements about the suspect's physical appearance shouldn't be admissible in court. But prosecutors also say they have evidence that Bryan bought a knife and sheath on Amazon in the months before the unalivings, and that knife matches the sheath found underneath one of the victims that investigators say they were able to match DNA from a thumbprint on the sheath to Bryan Kohberger's DNA.
Most unusual children in the world. Bayezid Hussein. 4-year-old boy that suffers from condition that makes him age 8 times the normal rate. Hyunyoung Shin. Boy that suffers from condition that slows the aging process and is actually 26 years old. Richard Sandrook. Known as the strongest boy in the world.
Oh, you got the games, bro.
Kristina Pimenova. She is known as the world's most beautiful girl. Ben Underwood. Blind boy with prosthetic eyes taught himself how to see with sound like a bat.
He's dead.
Tessa Evans. Girl that was born without a nose.
These 3 kids are
interesting.
In 1966 in Atlanta, Georgia, there were 3 evil boys. Their names were Caleb, Alex, and Walter Mellon. The townspeople nicknamed them the Little Satans, because from the age of 5, the Little Satans began to show a very disturbing and cruel side, often capturing small animals in the town's woods. The other kids in town were terrified and stayed away from the Little Satans. The parents of these 3 kids just thought it was envy of the other parents or just a childhood thing. Most of the town kept quiet because they didn't want any trouble with this influential and wealthy family. But the evilness of the little Satans was increasing, until one day a kid from the town disappeared, and the last time he was seen he was with the little Satans. Due to the few evidences, the local police could not make a deep investigation. But an officer named Mark Russell did not give up, and decided to investigate further, where he discovered a secret door in the back garden of the house of the little Satans. When he opened it, he found a macabre scene. The missing boy was tied up and caged with all his clothes torn, and wounds all over his body.
That was dark.
Most unusual families in the world. The albino family. Family with the most albino members in the world.
Wow.
The Silver family. Family that all have extra toes and fingers.
What happened? It was born
The
like
Thugate
that?
family. Family that was born with blue skin.
So basically the Smurfs.
The Rudge family. Family that only wears red and white.
Forever? I can
The Best
imagine that.
family. The world's strongest family. Pearl Carter and Phil Bailey family. 72-year-old grandma and her 26-year-old grandson are madly in love.
Terrifying games you don't want to play, part 38. Shadows on the Wall. Playing this game is quite simple, and you will be rewarded greatly if you win. However, it won't be easy, and the consequences for losing are high. To play this game, you'll need to summon the Shadow People. To do this, you will need a large candle for every room in your house, as well as one for yourself. You will also need a piece of chalk. Once you have acquired these items, you'll need to wait until dusk to begin. Once it has arrived, you may take your candles and position them throughout your house, lighting them as you go. It's important that there's at least one in every room. Once you have completed this task, you'll need to enter your bedroom and draw a chalk man on the wall next to your bed. The size and design of this man don't matter. Finally, you'll need to stand across the room from the chalk drawing and repeat this rhyme. Shadows on the wall, I see you every day. Shadows on the wall, I bid thee come and play. If the chalk drawing begins to move towards you, you'll know that you have succeeded and the Shadow People have entered your home. From this point forward, you'll need to move very quickly. Your task will be to exit your home without allowing your shadow to be captured by the people hiding in the darkness on your wall. You can use your candle to ward off these evil spirits, but remember they are cunning and the light only causes more shadows to appear. If you can successfully escape, you will become like a shadow yourself, able to disappear in plain sight whenever it suits you. However, if you are caught, the Shadow People will be able to exit your wall, and they will drag you into the Midnight Realm for daring to summon them. Comment whether or not you would play this game, and follow for more.
No! I never played any of those games.
Comes from the Philippines. It's apparently of an aswang that passed right through a gate. If anybody has a translation of what they were saying, please comment below and let me know. I'm very curious. Now let's talk about the obvious. What could have happened here? This very well could just be camera distortion. Maybe the guy jumped the fence or opened the fence and closed it quickly and the camera did not pick it up quick enough. That is a rational explanation for this. However, many are claiming this is an aswang, which is a Filipino urban legend. These are shape-shifting creatures who have malicious intent with humans. They seek out flesh and blood. What do you guys think this is? Let me know.
Didn't even get to see the video.
So you probably have questions. I may have answers. Anyway, this is the Bodo, aka the Amazon River Dolphin, aka a sentient hot dog that got left in a microwave of life too long. A flipper paralysis demon if I've ever seen one. See, now what had happened was, scientists studied these river pigs for over 200 hours, and there were 36 separate times where one decided to become a sentient sprinkler for apparently no reason. Questionable use of free will, and scientists hit a mental roadblock trying to figure out the why. Here's my guess. Fun fact, dolphins can recognize each other by using their version of names. It's pretty cool. They can also recognize each other by tasting urine, so they got that two-factor authentication going. That's not a joke. Scientists watch dolphins carefully listen to the sounds of whistles and consolidate that by sampling their south shower before giving them the how the heck are ya. Another thing is that nature's forgotten bubblegum isn't blind, but with the murky river water they live in, they might as well be. So senses like smell and taste carry the team. And the last thing is that male dolphins form lifelong alliances where they help each other get laid, and being on our smelly timing is how they prove their identity. It's not really that crazy. Animals like lions spray to mark their territory. Giraffes will taste bladder product to see if a female's ready. And porcupines will really gift a golden shower to let the lady know he's on timing. So that's my guess. Or they could just be playing, because the way those males in alliances bond is something I can't talk about on here. Not so shameless plug, but nah, for real. Godless is probably already going to spank me for showing that video. So if you're curious, you want to know what I'm talking about, there you go. The more you know.
That's obviously AI edit. A vamp. Back with the skinwalkers, okay. Trying to trap one. One of it got through. I know they see that big hole right there.
Imagine you're me, scrolling on your For You
Tap
page
on that one.
in the middle of the night, and you see this. Now, this is a doll. Let's get that out of the way first. And this woman married this doll. Here you go. Just picture them at their wedding. And she has like an entire family of like zombie dolls. But is this not so like unnerving? And also, is that not like a child zombie doll? I understand this is not what my like page normally is about. Like it's usually like crime and like hauntings and stuff like that. But like this is freaking me out.
Why did she marry a child daughter that? Yeah, like she was hitting the nail on the head. I mean, you know, everybody they can free to do whatever they want, man. They can marry who, I guess, or whatever you want now. But to marry a child doll, a zombie one too, man. Like look at that damn face. What was going on, man? Did she have any guests at the wedding? I need to know this, man. I need to know this information. I'm about to follow up on that one. Mind blowing.
You stab until he was dead.
This 12-year-old boy randomly stabbed a 9-year-old to death and later sought the death penalty in court. However, after learning about his background, the victim's family not only forgave him, but also hoped for his recovery. On an afternoon in August 2014, Jamarian Lawhorn, afraid to go home, randomly chose Connor Verkerka as his target at a playground and stabbed him 6 times. Instead of running away, he called 911 and waited for the police to arrest him. Lawhorn's defense attorney argued that he had suffered years of abuse from his parents and pleaded insanity in court, but the judge rejected the claim. A physical examination revealed multiple bruises and signs of chronic malnutrition, all caused by his mother and stepfather. This severe mistreatment left Lawhorn feeling utterly hopeless, ultimately leading to the crime. Upon learning the full story, Connor's parents forgave the 12-year-old boy. Ultimately, Lawhorn was convicted of first-degree murder, but since he was a minor, the judge issued a blended sentence. He would stay in a juvenile facility until he turned 21, at which point he would be tried as an adult. Was this a fair ruling? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't believe what this man was caught doing with a corpse. 46-year-old Randall Bird was caught doing inappropriate things to a corpse while he was working his shift as a security guard at the Banner University Medical Center in Phoenix. Randall's job was to bring deceased bodies to the hospital's morgue and slip them into the freezer. But during his shift, coworkers walked in on him and caught Randall inside the freezer with his zipper down, his uniform looking messy, and a body bag open. He was seen almost on top of the 79-year-old deceased woman, and when the workers walked in, he quickly tried to cover the body. The workers said that Randall looked so sweaty and nervous when they caught him, and his excuse was that he had a medical emergency and he almost passed out. His co-workers did not believe a single word and reported the incident. When Randall was interviewed by police a few days later, he basically just said the same story and said that he couldn't remember much of what happened. But not long after, investigators found his DNA on the woman's body, which proves that Randall was in fact doing what we all assumed. He was arrested and now faces multiple charges.
Man, you're supposed to be taking care of that boss, not like that. People trusting their loved ones to people like that, man, and he took advantage of it. Just a dark individual, man. People don't have no shame nowadays. Back away. Keep backing up.
This is a true horrifying story, part 25.
Warning.
This is not a joke. The information that's going to be shared is dangerous and life-threatening. Do not, under any circumstance, commit the actions that will be narrated. This is the world's most dangerous book ever, Shams al-Ma'arif. This book was written by Ahmad al-Buni in the 17th century. But technically, the author of this book is not a human being. I never did and will never read this book. And this is your second warning. Do not read this book. Ahmad al-Buni practiced black magic, and he was in contact with the most powerful jinns and demons before he passed away. The jinns were the authors of this book. The elder generations, like our moms and dads, have heard about this book, and they were warned by it. There are thousands of horrifying stories of people who read this book. Shams al-Ma'arif explains everything about black magic, how to get in touch with the world of jinns, how to marry a jinn, and the sacrifices you have to do for the devil, and much more. Unfortunately, this book can be easily found online. One day, a Saudi Arabian man that read hundreds of books for a living decided to read this book specifically out of interest and love for all books, without fearing the consequences behind it. He reached the chapter that teaches readers how to get married to a female jinn. He laughed about it. He tried the ritual to experiment it. The first night after finishing the whole book and completing the marriage ritual, he felt someone breathing next to his face. And on the second night, he felt a hand touching his feet. And on the third night, he heard her voice. The man was officially locked in a marriage with a demon. 5 years go by. He met a normal, beautiful woman that he fell in love with, and they both decided to get married a week before the wedding day. The bride, the bride's parents, and the groom's parents all pass and die in 3 different car crashes. These are the consequences behind this book. And it's also known from many stories of people that have died from reading the first few pages. If you don't finish reading the book, you will get killed. All my stories, all of them, are true incidents that happened one time only. But this book is a product that is permanently available online. I beg you, do not go anywhere near Shams al-Ma'arif. This video is to educate you on the dangers behind this book. Do not go anywhere close to the world of jinns.
I'm gonna take his word for it. I will not. He'd take heed to his advice.
About everything outside of the United States today. China has a 26-story skyscraper pig farm farm. Apparently on TV in Japan, they put "the staff ate it later" as a caption shown on screen when there's food to let the audience know that they didn't waste it. Brazil is utilizing geese as guards for their prisons. There's a lake in Canada named the Big Ass Lake. Do you love your half-brother or half-sister enough to get married? Well, in Sweden you can if your county approves it. The Vatican has the only ATM in the entire world that is equipped with instructions in Latin. Apparently Pyongyang in North Korea has one of the deepest subway systems in the entire world, and the tickets are as low as half a US cent. So there was a band performing in Melbourne, Australia called Amel and the Sniffers, who had to cancel their performance because of safety concerns. But the band then decided to pay $35,000 of bar tabs across the entire city for all the disappointed fans. China has a punishment called the death sentence with reprieve, which is basically a 2-year period where the execution is only carried out if you do wrongdoing again.
Man warned us about what's happening today back in 2019.
The issue for me, this guy Douglas Rushkoff talks about it, the issue is like, when I try to tell kids and parents or whatever, they're coming for every second of your life. That's what these companies are coming to. This company as well. And it's not because anyone is bad. It's not because anyone in this company has evil plans or is trying to do this. They're not even doing it consciously. It's because these companies like Twitter and YouTube and Instagram and everything, they went public and they went to shareholders. So they have to grow. Their entire models are based off of growth. They cannot stay stagnant. They're trying to get more engagement from you. We used to colonize land. That was the thing you could expand into, and that's where money was to be made. We colonized the entire earth. No other place for the businesses and capitalism to expand into, and then they realized human attention. That we can now, they are now trying to colonize every minute of your life. That is what these people are trying to do. Every single free moment you have is a moment you could be looking at your phone and they could be gathering information to target ads at you. That's what's happening. So like as much as we can, as have really good conversations and try to humanize the conversations, the like mechanism of the business is rolling towards that just because of the market. So like it's coming.
Here's some of
that's the name of the game, bro. Well, this day and age is engagement. That's why freaking apps like TikTok is so popular, bro, because people have like short attention spans, man, or why shorts is popular on YouTube is people only want to watch a video for like 20-30 seconds, bro. Optimize it and just keep swiping, man. But the thing you said about ads, I have noticed that like more than usual lately, bro. Like you just see ads everywhere, bro. You can't escape it, man.
The Scariest Unknown Creatures Caught on Camera, Part 5. The video you are seeing has been trending in the Spanish community due to its unknown origins. An unknown individual is seemingly looking in the tree line for something that startled him. He then turns to his roof and we see just what that thing was.
I don't see nothing yet. What the?
A fleshy pink creature is seen hunched over on the person's roof. The creature has an abnormally large body in comparison to the average person, with limbs that are disproportionate to its body. Its head is also very small in comparison to its body, being attached to a freakishly long neck. It seems to have black eyes and a gaping mouth, but it's hard to tell due to the quality of the video. It quickly runs away after being spotted, leaving everyone questioning just what this disturbing creature was.
I'm gonna have to call
Have
Cat.
you happened to come across this viral new trend, where people that are pulled over by law enforcement for traffic stops are not opening their windows, but they're actually putting a sign in the window telling the officers what they will comply with and what they will not comply with? If you haven't seen the viral video, take a look at this. Look at that.
Could be me.
I've gone ahead and stopped the video right where the sign appears. Take a look at what the sign actually says. I remain silent. No searches. I want my lawyer. Please put any tickets under my windshield wipers. I'm not required to sign, and then goes on to put the law number right next to it. I'm not required to hand you my license, again with the law number stated on the sign. As you can see, the license is being displayed below the sign in the window. Thus, I'm not opening my window. I will comply with clearly stated lawful orders. So I guess my question to you is, do you think this is going to go far in certain states? Do you think that officers are going to allow this to happen? in certain states. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Would you do something like this? Would you have the you-know-what to do something like this? And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Reptilians do walk among us. Did you guys see Kate Beckinsale on the Jimmy Kimmel Show saying that her daughter's boyfriend lays eggs? And she saw it, and she also showed them pictures that the crowd was not able to see. Now, a lot of people think she's joking or think it's some type of code word or code whatever, and it's something they do that's weird in Hollywood, maybe. But I found it interesting what she said about her daughter's boyfriend. Take a listen.
2 eggs in a week is what the bright spot was. Who did? The boyfriend did.
She said he lays eggs. And she has proof of it. These reptiles walk among us. I think people just think we live in this world where the government tells us what we can see and believe, and that's it. That's all that exists. No. These reptilians walk among us, and I think a lot of you know that. Back and you look at ancient statues, you see evidence of reptilians and these weird animal-human hybrid people. Mind you, the Nephilim did a lot of gene coding naturally when they were on Earth. Y'all don't think they're doing the same thing with the technology we have today? Y'all don't still think that they walk among us? Remember, the serpent was what? A reptilian. What they do is they put it in plain sight and they want us to think it's a joke. They desensitize us to it and all these things. She's literally saying that her daughter's boyfriend is a reptilian right in front of our faces. And even if this is talking in code, what a weird way to talk in code. Holly weird, dude. Holly weird. Once again,
talk about things caught on camera. Bro, have you seen, okay, there's this clip of the Falcon 9 in space, and it was a live stream, right? And so it's showing the outside of the ship, okay? Mm-hmm. Someone spotted a mouse. What? On the outside of the thing. You can see it on video. You can see it crawl.
In space?
That's what I'm saying. That's what people are freaking out about, man. People are like, wait a minute.
Wait.
Is this true? Is this a live stream from actual space? Or is this some type of studio stuff and they just let something slip?
Oh, man.
But dude, I'll show you the video. It's absolutely crazy because you see it up close and you're just like, what is he looking at? And then you see something move that absolutely, that's 100% a mouse.
Oh my gosh.
And so it makes me wonder, like, the new Ratatouille. What are they up to? What are they filming?
Astronauts? What do you mean that I could be an astronaut?
Right there.
Wait.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And it's all over.
I mean, it could probably live for like a little bit.
Outside?
No, your head explode.
You heard of the Chileno Sanchez story? Mexico. Yeah, it's Mexico. Okay. So he was a musician that was right after his concert because he was handed a note. From who? There was this one time somebody did something to his sister, and while he was performing, he saw that guy walk into the bar. Bro dropped the mic, pulled out his thing, bah! Took out the guy that did some unspeakable acts to his sister. Yeah. Real cheap. Now, what ended up happening in that same bar when he was performing, somebody came up and tried to, take him out. He saw him pull up. That's like the Wild West. Start pulling out while Chileno Sanchez on stage singing them. Yo. No! Yeah, man. While he's singing. Now, the third time he was singing, somebody from the crowd came up to him and handed a note. And you know how people handed notes as a song request? Yeah. He opens the note and the note said, if you don't stop performing right now, we'll kill you. Whoa. So he looks at the note. What'd he do? Real G, right? He's a real G. He closed it and he kept performing. Yeah, real G. Keep that shit going. But after the concert was done, after the show was done, he left the bar with his homies and they're all driving in a car, right? The police, they stopped the car and then they pull over and they're like, we're looking for Chileno Sanchez. Oh, is that Chileno? Yo, you have to come with us. Put him in the car, right? The friends go along their own way. And that was the last time they ever saw Chileno again. So what ended up happening, those police officers weren't police officers. They were the cartel. They found Chileno 2 hours later, tied up, duct taped, with 2 bullets. Yeah.
What is going on in the skies right now? Because this ain't normal. Airlines all across the world just started canceling and delaying flights. All because a software update on one of the most common planes in the sky started acting weird, y'all. And get this, analysts think that the same computer glitch might have played a role in the JetBlue plane altitude suddenly dropping last month. Imagine you on a plane just chilling, relaxing, and all of a sudden the joint just nosedive or just drop out of nowhere, all because of a code update. Then the Airbus came out and said something completely even crazier. They are investigating and found signs of intense solar radiation may have corrupted data inside the flight control systems. So we talking solar radiation, like the sun is now messing with planes. Y'all remember them 2 blackouts? Now we having plane blackouts. I don't know what's happening, y'all. Between the radiation and the software glitches and a plane suddenly dropping altitude, all I'm gonna tell you, something is not adding up. People are losing.
Fun fact, still have never been on a plane before. That's crazy, man. Like, the solar radiation and the software updates, man, is making the planes go freaking haywire, bro. I think it has something to do with 3i Atlas, right? Because then a couple of days ago, we had that freaking the Cloudflare blackout, you know, the internet, everything was kind of down on Twitter and stuff. It's all connected, Seekers, man. Are you flying right there, bro? You gotta be careful.
Their minds after a 200-year-old castle was put up for sale for about half the price. You can buy some one-bedroom flats in London. The castle is located on a Scottish island called the Isle of Rum. Come on. It has 20 bedrooms. It was once visited by the king, and you even get to keep all the historical pieces inside, including the demons. Not only was it built all the way back in the late 1700s, meaning it's seen some shit, but it's so cool that it even had public tours going on there for a while. And I mean, may I suggest it being a perfect home for those who have many enemies, as you even have lookout towers so you can see the ops coming from miles away. Now, there are some downsides. You know, the heating might be a little expensive. The cost of monthly exorcisms will probably add up. And if you did want to demolish it and build a multi-story car park, well, permits might be a little tricky to get a hold of because it's a Category A listed building, meaning it's of national importance or whatever. But, you know, if you and the homies wanted to take one bedroom each, you split it, that's £37,000. With the total price for all of this castle, £750,000. I mean, you may have to defend it against White Walkers one day, but I think it's a bargain.
1,000 meters under the Japanese mountain, there's a golden chamber filled with 50,000 tons of water so pure it can dissolve metal. This is a super Kamio Kande, and it's hunting ghost particles from dying stars. Those golden spheres covering the walls are 11,000 sensors, designed to detect neutrinos, particles so small they pass through your body, through Earth, through everything without stopping. When neutrinos hit this ultra-pure water, they create a tiny flash of light that those sensors capture. This facility proved neutrinos have mass, winning a Nobel Prize in 2015 and completely changing our understanding of physics. It can detect supernovas before the light reaches Earth, giving us hours of advanced warning when massive stars explode billions of light years away. The facility is also studying dark matter, the invisible substance that makes up most of the universe, but remains impossible to see or touch. Look at those workers in tiny boats maintaining the sensors. That's how you understand the scale here. A chamber the size of a 15-story building carved into a mountain. After 40 years of operation, it's still making discoveries, recently upgraded with gadolinium for even better detection capability. This cost $500 million to build with no immediate profit and no practical product, just humanity asking the biggest questions about why the universe exists and what everything is made of. When you build a golden cathedral underground to catch invisible particles from exploding stars, that's civilization reaching its peak. If you enjoyed this story, please show some love by liking the video and following my page for more amazing content like this.
Story behind how they got this photograph has to be the most interestingest thing I've ever seen. So this guy, Andrew McCarthy, had the idea to do a photo called The Fall of Icarus, where Andrew sent up one of his most bestest friends, Gabriel Brown, after he had Gabriel jump out of a small plane 3,500 feet off the ground and 8,000 feet away from the photographer. And the sun is like 67 million miles away from us. And what's even more insane is that this shot is nearly impossible to get. As we are constantly moving around the sun, the photographer and the skydiver both have to time this perfectly. And this is where things nearly got so much more worse, because when they were communicating, and if they missed their mark by even 1 second, they would have had to reset and recalculate everything, meaning that this photo almost never happened. And what's even more wilder is that they ended up getting this photo in one take. And what's even more interestinger, when you take a normal video of the sun, you get these flares, but since he used a specialized lens that only captures this certain wavelength, that's how he got the sun to look like puppy fur. And after like 6 or 7 weeks of planning and doing this all in one take, and Andrew couldn't believe that he got this on the first take. However, Andrew has taken some of the most insanest photos I've ever seen. Do you think this photo was worth 6 or 7 weeks of planning?
Booked.
Yeah.
Somewhere in a South Korean lab, a new form of life is taking shape, encased in a shell of hydrophobic particles. This shape-shifting droplet is soft yet nearly indestructible. It survives high-impact drops, squeezes through impossible gaps, and glides over land and water without a sound. Controlled by ultrasound, it follows commands, precise, obedient. but always moving. Researchers believe it could navigate the human body, deliver medicine, or explore disaster scenes. A machine born from technology. And this is only the beginning.
I don't know how I feel about
Particle
that.
armored liquid robots. Squishy, smart, spooky. Have these guys never seen a sci-fi movie? I think we know how this script ends. What are your thoughts? Should we call it awesome or freaky? All right.
I'm going with freaky, bro. A liquid robot born from biology, tech, and humans mixing. That never ends well, bro. Never.
This has been hidden for centuries. The Eiffel Tower's real purpose is extremely different to what you've been told. Most people believe it is just a symbol of Parisian culture and the industrial age, but there is far more. Its secrets could have revolutionized the world. The Eiffel Tower was completed in 1889 for the World's Fair. It was designed as a temporary exhibit showcasing modern engineering. But here is where it gets interesting. There is overwhelming evidence that the tower was actually built as a giant antenna for wireless electricity experiments. Nikola Tesla visited Paris in the 1880s, and during his visit he met with Gustave Eiffel and shared his vision of a world powered by free wireless energy. Tesla proved that with his Wardenclyffe Tower invention that could wirelessly transmit electricity across the globe. Eiffel was fascinated by Tesla's ideas and incorporated these principles into the design of the tower. The lattice structure is not just an aesthetic choice, but it gets even stranger. During the construction of the Eiffel Tower, there were reports of strange electromagnetic phenomena and unexplained lights around the tower. Local newspapers often mention mysterious experiments conducted late at night. Some even claim to have seen sparks and glowing orbs.
So, what are y'all eating on these so-called holidays? Because what I'm seeing people post on TikTok is not food. I'm convinced that these corporations have canceled the holidays along with us because what is this, y'all? Why does this so-called chicken look like the bottom of somebody's foot? You have families open up cans of cranberries thinking they're gonna get cranberries, but instead they're getting water. You got sweet potatoes holding onto water like they are a sponge. What is this? They're not even calling ice cream anymore. They're calling it frozen dairy dessert. What timeline are we in?
I'm tripping right now because I was just trying to trim some of the fat off my chicken. I started realizing, don't this look like a human foot? Or am I tripping?
They do. You ain't tripping, bro.
Watch me open this one. You know to do too.
Yeah, be natural, bro. This water, what the f?
Never saw this cans of water. That's right.
But don't he look like swords? Like, pay attention to the spot. Like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Like, it's like some kind of form of, some kind of sword. Like, ugh. Like, bitch, you know how much steak costs, bitch? This is fucking ridiculous. I thought they were capping when I seen it. But look.
It's like a sponge. It's not no sweet potato.
I got your arm.
Those ain't yams, bro. That's a whole sponge.
Do these supposed to do that?
I don't think so.
Never in my 12 plus years of cooking for my family have I seen a chicken breast spasm.
It's like it's still alive, bro. Well, what's going on with the food sources, man, to 2025?
So I thought this is what I was gonna cook today. And I started to clean it, thinking that this was just some outside skin. As you can see, I'm trying to push my thing forward and I cannot. And then I see this thing.
It's like rubber.
Like it is so hard. And it literally looks like, I don't know if that's technically correct.
Throw it away.
Like it is so hard. It looks exactly like plastic. Here is one that I had already pulled off. And I'm not sure what this is. Even down inside there, as you can see. It's like plastic.
Yep. Yeah.
This is honeysuckle.
What happened to Briar's ice cream? That it's no longer ice cream? My husband and I were just trying to figure out why this Briar's ice cream that was buy one get one tastes so terrible. And as we were looking at the packaging, we realized that nowhere on here does this say ice cream. Now, I was trying to be moderately healthy. I mean, obviously moderately healthy, of course. When I chose the ingredients here, because it starts with like milk and sugar and cream, and okay, then it gets a little dicey. But it's like there, up there for a while. It's perfect. There's nowhere on here. In fact, it says frozen dairy dessert. But nowhere on Briar's. The Briar's. I mean, this was like the ice cream of my childhood. And the premium. It's not like this socioeconomic here. Alright, Briar's ice cream. It's not even ice cream anymore.
Best Inventions Part 2. Canada peanut butter. Italy thermometers. France parachutes. Denmark Lego. Ukraine postal codes. China paper money.
Did you guys know that these Disney stars were arrested and some even spent time in prison? Starting with the one that shocked me the most, Phil Lewis, who played Mr. Mosby on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. He went to prison for manslaughter. So in 1991, way before The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody aired, Phil killed a 21-year-old girl while drinking and driving. But he was released early and only served 1 year because of the work he did in prison. Next, we got Debbie Ryan, who played Bailey Pickett on The Sweet Life on Deck. When Debbie was 22 years old, she was arrested and charged with a DUI after she crashed her car with another person and severely injured them. Okay, this one's crazy. Back in 2018, Adam Hicks, who starred in Zeke and Luther, was arrested after going around pointing guns at people and robbing them with the help of his girlfriend, Danny. He ended up getting only 5 years in prison, and now he's pursuing his music career and he's on TikTok. Now, this one definitely caught me off guard because Mitchell Musso played such an innocent kid on Hannah Montana, but he was arrested for public intoxication on August 26th of this year when he apparently stole a bag of chips from a store, but he denies this ever happened. Mitchell was also arrested back in 2011 when he was 20 years old for a DUI. Let me know which one surprised you the most, because mine was Mr. Mosby.
The worst. She hit the nail on the head, bro. It was Mr. Mosby. I would have never guessed in a million years, man, something like that had happened. It's like when these Disney stars, after their shows is over, after they run us up, they just can't cope with it, and they go down the wrong path. But that Mr. Mosby one, man, that got to me, bro.
Ways people have died, part 2. First off, this one's so awful you'd think it was a hoax. A mom would repeatedly push her kid on a swing for 2 days straight until he eventually passed away. It was later revealed that she was extremely mentally ill and was sent to a mental institution. Next, a man in his late 30s from the Philippines decided to tackle his fear by finally going on a roller coaster with his family. But once the ride started moving, he began freaking out and began squirming and kicking in his seat. And when the ride flipped, he slipped right out and met his end. Finally, what started as an amazing day eventually took a turn for the worse. While still celebrating from her recent engagement, this woman stumbled and fell off a cliff that was as tall as a 6-story building, falling to her death.
Be careful when looking at old pictures. You might see the man with the upside down face in one. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, save yourself. The upside down man is one of the meanest and the scariest monsters alive. He personally feeds off of death and fear, so be careful. Behind me, as you see him in this tragic car accident. Supposedly this picture is from the 1960s, and this is when he started to appear. He himself cannot make the events tragic, but he can make them 10 times worse. By making simple arguments turn violent. My question to you guys is, have you looked at old pictures?
Creepy last words people said right before dying. Registered nurse Emily Thompson said that she had a female patient who was dying of cancer. The patient had grown increasingly anxious in her last days. She often complained of a strange sulfuric smell in her room. It's getting stronger, she said one evening. Emily, who was accustomed to the odd perceptions of the dying, tried to reassure her, but the patient's haunted eyes told another story. That night, she gripped Emily's hand with surprising strength, her breath coming in shallow gasps. He's here, she whispered. Who's here? Emily asked. The devil's here. He's waiting for me. Her voice cracked. Her face twisted in terror as she turned her gaze to the dark corner of the room. I did terrible things, she said. Things no one knows. The nurse followed her stare, but there was nothing there. The patient's lips parted as if to scream, but only silence came. Her body convulsed, then fell still. Emily said that the smell of sulfur lingered in that room long after the patient died.
To the Amazon recharging its minerals. The desert literally fertilizes the rainforest.
This is one of the craziest urban legends I've ever heard. And it ended up being true. So almost 100 years ago, there was an aquarium in Australia that had a giant tiger shark on display. And the legend goes that one day, in front of groups of families, the shark threw up a human arm. And not only is that true, but it opened a murder investigation. Also, this week's episode is all about Australian true urban legends, so make sure you listen. So after the shark threw up the human arm, the police had to figure out whose it was and why it was in the shark's belly. Well, the first thing the police noticed was the arm was cut cleanly, not jagged like it was from a shark bite, meaning that the arm was intentionally cut. So now it's clear that this was a murder, but whose arm is it? Well, one thing they noticed is that the arm has two boxers in a fighting stance tattooed on it. So they end up writing about that in the paper, and one guy who was reading it goes, "Hey, that sounds like my brother's tattoo." His brother was a man named Jim Smith, and he was involved in the seedy underbelly of Sydney society. Jimmy ran insurance fraud scams in Sydney, and he was just involved with a lot of bad people. And the last person he was seen with was one of Sydney's most notorious criminals. The story has a lot of twists, including how was he involved with the last guy he was seen with. And there's a lot of fun Australian urban legends, like the story of the Button Man, so make sure you check out this week's episode.
Three criminals who got caught for the dumbest things. In 2011, a man from Florida attempted to rob a convenience store with a squirt gun filled with juice. Luckily, the worker recognized the juice as juice that they sell, and he called the police. They then tracked him down and arrested him. In 2014, a man from Australia attempted to rob a gas station with a banana. He had peeled the banana and used it to simulate the shape of a gun. The man was also arrested and charged with armed robbery. In 2018, a man in California was breaking into a house, but he didn't realize that he had accidentally dialed 911 while he was still in the house. The operator heard noises in the background, so he sent police to the phone's location, where the man was then arrested.
They were not using their critical thinking skills. They're really...
Never to go to Spain, because what the hell is this? This is a water slide, as you can see, one of those tornado water slides. These are human beings in comparison to that, just if you want to see how big it is. And it is in Siam Park, Spain. And, no. I've never been on a tornado water slide. I hate water slides in general, but this, you could never catch me on, especially with this thing chilling there. It gets, super close to you, too. I watched a video, and this is how close you get to it. Pretty damn close. Probably 10 to 20 feet away from it. No. I'd be so scared that I'd fly out of there and into its mouth. And then, when you come out, its whole dragonussy is facing you. You know what? I might have been too harsh on this guy. He has nice biceps. Hear me out. Hear me out. He has a killer set of nails, though. I will tell you that much. He's styling. Also, I just noticed his neck. I'm not gonna say anything. So yeah, how do you feel about this one? Would you go on this ride? It kind of looks like a rat. He has a rat face, but a dragon body. Hear me out. I can take him in a fight.
No, you can't. That's a no for me.
I'm partnering with Netflix to talk about what happened with O.J. Simpson and how there are some details you might have missed in this insane true crime case. For example, how there was a witness who saw him get rid of evidence, how someone recognized his voice, and what the last person who was with O.J. before the murders remembers. On the night of June 12, 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman were found dead outside of Nicole's home in Los Angeles. Their cause of death? Stabbing. Right away, Nicole's ex-husband, O.J. Simpson, became the police's #1 suspect. Now, who was O.J.? Well, he was a former, well-known NFL player who married Nicole in 1985. Now, their marriage was not good, and in 1992, they finalized their divorce. When Nicole and Ronald's bodies were found, police honed in on O.J., suspecting that he might have a motive for killing his ex-wife. This investigation led to an insane manhunt entailing a huge car chase, frightening witness statements, and worldwide
coverage. This was the most famous celebrity ever charged with murder, and it was a disaster. You may think you know everything about the case, but there might be some details that you missed. Netflix's new series, American Manhunt: O.J. Simpson, is coming on January 29th to highlight the lesser-known details of one of the most widely known criminal cases in history. There are a lot of surprising details that I didn't know about, so make sure to watch Netflix's new series and let me know what you think about the case down below.
The oldest in the world. Oldest president to be elected, Joe Biden, 78 years old. Oldest person to ever live, Janine Kalman, 116 years old. Oldest tree, Great Basin, Bristol Cone Pine, 5,000 years old. Oldest pub in England, Old Ferry Boat Inn, 793 AD. Oldest country, San Marino, 301 BCE.
This boy was shot by an officer while he ate McDonald's in his car. On October 2nd at 10:45 p.m., a police officer named James Brennan approached a vehicle that was parked at a McDonald's in San Antonio. The officer believed that the car belonged to the person who fled from him the night before during a traffic stop.
I had a vehicle over here that fled from me the other day in the parking lot.
What led to the shooting?
Get out of the car.
So, did you see how the officer opened Eric's car door without any heads up at all? I think anyone would panic in that moment. So when he opened the door, Eric reversed his car, hitting the officer with his car door. So then the officer proceeds to open fire on Eric as he drives away. By the way, you can find this video on YouTube. Eric was unarmed but was shot multiple times and was on life support. The police chief did say that James' actions were unjustified and that there is a policy that prohibits officers from shooting at parked or moving vehicles except if their life or someone else's life is in immediate danger. I just don't think it was necessary to do all that, but James was arrested and charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault.
He didn't even knock on it, he just opened it. And look what that led to, man. It just couldn't follow simple directions, bro. If his life or somebody else's life was in danger, I don't think nobody's life was in danger right there. Don't make sense.
3 ways to survive a skinwalker. Number 1, don't ever whistle in the woods. No matter if it's daytime or nighttime, that's a calling signal, meaning that you're letting the skinwalker know exactly where you are. Number 2, pray as hard to whatever you believe in as possible. Skinwalkers are demonic creatures, being so that they were transformed this way because they are cannibals and have killed before. Number 3, white ash tree rubbed bullets may be one of the only other ways to stop a skinwalker in its tracks. Of course, most people don't have those laying around, so if you're in an area where you think you may or may not be able to run into one, you may want to pack those just in case. Don't forget to like and follow for another episode.
White tree bullets, okay. More about the skinwalker lore.
Unalived his parents and was found not guilty. On September 8th of 2024, 17-year-old Colin Griffin called 911 to tell them that he had gotten into an argument with his mother, Catherine, at his grandmother's house. He claimed that after the argument, his mother fell onto a knife. According to him, his mother was still alive and bleeding from the neck. As Colin was waiting outside for the officers, he was covered in blood. Officers described his demeanor as cool, calm, and collected, which was odd for someone who had just saw their mom fall onto a knife. Once officers went into the home, they found a 12-inch knife with a bloodied 8-inch blade. Witnesses told police that they saw Colin dragging his mom by her hair into the mobile home where she died. Catherine had an autopsy done and revealed that her injuries were non-accidental. Police arrested Colin and he had actually violated a no-contact order in place against his mother. This was put into place because in November of 2023, Colin and his mother got into an argument which led her to take away his gaming privileges, and he got so angry that he threw her to the floor and stomped on her. Colin had claimed he struck his mother in self-defense, but his grandmother was witnessing the whole thing and she stated that the attack was unprovoked. In March of 2024, there was another incident between Colin and his mother which resulted in him going to a mental health facility. On February 5th of this year, the court found Colin not guilty, and his public defender argued that his mother, Catherine, was probably suicidal and she was the one who forced Colin to stab her. Colin not only did this to his mother, but he also did it to his father as well. Colin had lived with his father, Charles, in Lincoln County, Oklahoma until 2023. On February 14th of 2023, Colin had called 911 and told the dispatcher that he had fatally shot his father after his father had pulled out a knife on him and threatened him with it. Police had arrested Colin, but later dismissed the case, stating that it was due to self-defense. So Colin has unalived both of his parents and has been found not guilty. So what do you think about the case?
One of the most
How did he beat the case twice?
Places in Arizona is the Superstition Mountains. The Superstition Mountains, located east of Phoenix, are steeped in legend, particularly surrounding a hidden gold mine that has supposedly cursed those who look for it. The story goes that a German prospector, James Waltz, discovered an incredibly rich gold vein in the 1800s. However, he died without revealing its location, and since then, many treasure hunters have vanished or met mysterious deaths while searching for it. Numerous treasure hunters and hikers have gone missing in the mountains, and some have even been found dead under mysterious circumstances. Many bodies are discovered with no signs of struggle, leading to theories about supernatural forces or hidden dangers in the area. Many visitors report glowing orbs, shadow figures, and eerie whispers echoing through the canyons at night. Some claim to have seen ghostly Spanish soldiers or Native American spirits guarding the area at night. The Apache Indians believed that the mountains are home to the thunder god, and some say there's a hidden entrance to the underworld deep within the caves. Even modern treasure hunters have reported freak accidents, strange disappearances, and a feeling of being watched while searching for the lost Dutchman's gold. Whether it's a real curse, dangerous terrain, or something supernatural, the Superstition Mountains remain one of Arizona's most mysterious and feared locations.
People who
treasure out there?
Regret. When this guy went to release the fish that he had just caught back into the water, he forgot which hand was which. The Wisconsin Lottery Organization did an undercover investigation. They brought a winning lottery ticket that won $1 million into the store to see if the worker would be honest, and here's what she said. After she tried to claim the money for herself, but she got caught. This TV channel called QVC showcases a bunch of different products, and they try to be entertaining while they're doing it. But if you want them to try your product on the show, it costs $6,000 per minute. This company wanted their vacuum to be showcased, and let's just say they regretted spending the money because it didn't really work.
Imagine spending all that money and your product don't work. Money down the drain, bro. You need to be budget their money way better. 6 bands, you know what I can do with that? We penny pinching over here.
Life or a disaster movie, this would be the opening scene. This is not supposed to happen. This is a black devil. Well, not really. That's the family name. Specifically, the humpback anglerfish, or as most people know, Nemo's paralysis demon. You already know the deal with them. Bioluminescent bacteria means Satan's abandoned goldfish has a built-in fishing lure, and any fish that wants to see the light gets sent to it permanently. Also, if you're curious about the dental work, basically where they live is a forever bird box challenge, so when they do catch a body, having teeth like hypodermic needles means it takes one mistake for them to stamp your fate. Plot armor's the only reason Marlon's son ain't in the system. And living in the world of Ray Charles means they're the opposite of picky. They'll swallow things physically bigger than they are. One devil weighing 8 grams was caught with a stomach holding about 12 grams worth of past tense eel. Also, every anglerfish like this is a female. You know where this is going, because the males are 40 times smaller, and the parasite's only purpose is to find a female, bite her, and then literally fuse into her skin. I'm talking about even his blood vessels eventually intersect with hers. And that's just the rest of his life. Bro really becomes a full-time herpy. Or I guess a hempy. It's so twisted, science really thought this living testicle was an entirely different species. Whole time it was Steven Universe on steroids. Now the real question is, why did Hell release one of his drafts unprompted? Remember, their entire game plan revolves around them living in pitch darkness. We've never recorded one in broad daylight like this. Something wrong with Buddy. They have no business perceiving any light that isn't theirs. That is a devil about to die. And if you believe in science, then oh my, the script writers are going wild in 2025.
Back in the saddle of talking about terrifying submechanophobia things. Just wait, stay with me this entire video because it gets crazier as it goes. This is the Aquadom that's in Berlin, and it was in the Radisson Hotel. And yes, that inside of there, that huge column inside of there, that's an elevator. Could you imagine getting in that elevator and getting stuck? This gigantic tank holds over 1 million liters of water and also 1,500 different tropical fish and some dudes scuba diving in around you when you're in the elevator. This sounds like a nightmare, getting stuck in that elevator. I already don't like elevators, but could you imagine being inside this gigantic tank? But also, wait for it, it shattered randomly.
What?
Just randomly one day, it decided to just completely break and shatter. All of the 1,500 fish were just scattered everywhere. People were like injured with some glass flying. Luckily, no one lost their lives, but like this, oh my God, could you imagine being in that elevator when it exploded? That sounds like a nightmare. And like here you can kind of see more structurally what exactly was inside of it. You can better see the elevator, and this was left abandoned for a little bit. It's cleared up now. Apparently the Radisson made it into like a garden, but this was just chilling in there, just completely the hotel abandoned for months. Like look at this. This is like right after it happened. This is, God. So we have abandoned places, we have some mechanophobia, and we have claustrophobia if you want to include the elevator. So, yeah, no. Did you get to see this when it was up and running? How was it? If not, would you have ever gone on this? Because you could not pay me. You could not. I would be going up the stairs. I don't care if I was on the 50th floor.
Why is this country called Iraq? The region of Mesopotamia has been referred to as Iraq since at least the 7th century AD, during the early Islamic period. The etymology of the name is debated amongst historians, with multiple theories explaining its meaning and roots. Now, one theory suggests that Iraq comes from the Sumerian city of Uruk. Now, Uruk was one of the first great cities of Mesopotamia, and its name may have influenced later Arabic and Persian terms for the region. Now, if you're familiar with the story of Gilgamesh, then you would know that this was the city that Gilgamesh had apparently ruled over. Another theory connects the name to the Middle Persian word Iraq, I hope I said that right, meaning lowlands, which describes Mesopotamia's geography in contrast to the Iranian plateau. Now the third theory, which if I recall correctly is actually a folk etymology, suggests that Iraq originates from an Arabic root meaning well-watered, referring to the fertile land between the Tigris River and the Euphrates River. During the early Islamic period, Iraq was commonly used to describe the southern and central regions of Mesopotamia. The term distinguished this area from Al-Jazira, the northern region between the two rivers. Now, in modern history, Iraq became an official state in 1921 under British rule, and the name was retained when the country gained full independence in 1932. Isn't that interesting?
How rare your body is? If you have golden blood, you are one of 48 known humans on Earth. 1% of people carry a gene mutation that lets them sleep for 4 hours a night without feeling tired. I want to know when we can clone that, because that would be great to have, honestly. 0.1% of people are born with a tiny hole near their ear that has been said to possibly trace back to fish gills. 1 in 10,000 people have a second row of eyelashes that grows from their eyelid. 0.5% of people have an extra rib bone growing from their neck instead of their spine. 0.06% of humans have eyes with 2 completely different colors. Only 5% of the population in the world has amber-colored eyes. 5% of people have extra taste buds that make bitterness and sweetness way more intense. Less than 1% of people have a gene mutation that makes their bones nearly unbreakable. Only 10% of people can voluntarily wiggle their ears. I definitely cannot do that. 35% of people never get at least one of their wisdom teeth, not even hidden under their gums.
School is designed to make you a worker on purpose.
In a school, you look at the school system like real talk. What do you do at a 9 to 5?
Work.
Most shifts are what? 8 hours. When you go to school, how long do you sit for?
8 hours.
8 hours. They teach you how to raise your hand when you're spoken to. Walk in single file line. Not one time did they ever teach us how to run a business or a banking account or structure money. Because the world is designed for businesses, but we workers have to keep showing up to pay taxes so they keep getting richer. Fuck that, start a business.
This man is exactly right. All the big business magnates at the time, like the early 1900s, designed it to be this way. Stay weird.
Bro, he was straight spitting, man. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until he started talking about it, but it was making sense. You get school, you sit 8 hours, you go to work, 9 to 5 to 8 hours. You speak when you're spoken to, you raise your hand, being compliant. But like you said, bro, school didn't teach you how to do taxes. Like I said, they don't teach you how to figure out a business. Unless you go, like to a regular college, I'm guessing, like, for business, but bro, it just seems like, bro, the system is just designed, for us to be workers, to be complacent, and those who break out are the business owners, bro. They get all the freaking money, bro, all the tax breaks and things like that, but not the workers. Make it make sense.
Some of the greatest conspiracy theories of all time. Part 12. Make sure to get your Halloween merch before time runs out. When talking about traumatic Disney deaths, Bambi's mom is usually brought up. However, we never see the person who gunned the mother down. Or have we? Many old Disney films were drawn in 2D since the animation software was very limited. Because of this, many scenes, characters, and animations were reused in many different films. In a scene from Beauty and the Beast, we can see a reused animation of Bambi's mom. Since Bambi was theoretically tied into the world of Beauty and the Beast, many people theorized that Gaston was the person who shot Bambi's mother. This wouldn't be far-fetched since he boasts about his hunting skills many times in the movie. It could even be possible that Bambi's mom is one of the many deer hung on the wall of the lodge that he hangs out and drinks at.
If you notice that more and more strange and uncanny events have taken place in our skies, whether they're during the day or at night, have increased dramatically over the past few months. Why do I say that? Because what was captured in Taylor, Michigan will have you scratching your head like I was scratching my own. Take a look at this video.
I don't know, man. Earlier I could see it with my eye too, but let me zoom in and you can see it's not my phone. Look at this.
2 moons.
Do that, Dia. How weird.
2 moons.
That's 10 plus zoom, but earlier I can see it with my eye. I can see that little moon thing. Like they're talking about the reflection of the, whatever the other day about the suns and all that, you know? Now, and look, it's not my... Look, I can move it around. It's not like see them lights that are moving around like that, like reflection. That's not. What the fuck is that, bro? What the fuck is that?
I paused the video at this spot right here and enlarged what appears to be 2 moons in the sky is what he captured. What do you see? One of the scary parts about the whole thing is, as I said before, more and more unexplained things are going on in the skies above us, and they're being captured on camera. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
I remember Tom Holland's humiliation ritual. He dressed up like a woman, he dressed up like a maid, and was performing Rihanna's Umbrella song. While it was very funny for a lot of people, this was his humiliation ritual. The author seen without some type of sacrifice. Satan always comes to collect, okay? That's just how it is in Hollywood. And typically he collects by having them do some type of humiliation ritual. Nothing against Tom Holland, but what's on the wall is on the wall. You can look around and you can see with every celebrity that when they don't comply, guess what? The contract runs out, they either get, or you never see them in anything else again. So they have to pay up. Don't think it's all fun and games when people get that high up in the world and get that famous and get all that money. It always comes with some type of consequence or ritual in the end. You always have to pay Satan back. I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh no, you're reaching, it was funny, it was this, it was that. I want you to look at the humiliation ritual. Go and do your own research for yourself. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I just saw it again recently on Facebook, and I'm just like, dude, that was his humiliation ritual. That's the reason why, you know, eventually he had to come up and pay. He's the biggest Spider-Man in the world, guys.
There's this guy who started this conspiracy on TikTok, and he's literally talking because he has a picture of a Tesla that ran right through his living room.
Oh, no.
He's at home, his roommate's at home, and a Tesla ran right through the wall at like 5:06 p.m. He takes a picture of it, he calls the police, he goes outside at 5:07, takes a picture of the Tesla inside his house. I mean, it's completely ruined. And then at 5:10, he takes a picture of a tow truck guy whom he had not called underneath the Tesla. The guy says, whoa, hey, can you like maybe wait for a second? The cops should be here any second. And he's like, nope, can't wait. The guy says, I really think like with insurance and everything, we probably should do a report and stuff. And he says, get the blank out of my way, or I'll kill you.
Oh,
He threatens his life, gets to the front, pulls around, and the guy's like, you don't have any empathy? And he says, dude, screw your empathy. And literally just like takes the car and leaves.
Yeah, whose Tesla was it?
Who's self-driving?
It self-drove into the living room?
I don't know. The conspiracy is that Tesla is paying any Tesla that gets into an accident, paying these tow companies or having reps in cities or whatever that work on those things at a drop of a hat in order to not get bad press.
Jimmy has actually responded to the Mr. Beast is falling off
claims. And he actually apologized. So for context, recently there's been a string of videos that have performed lower than average for Mr. Beast. I mean, we're still talking insane views, but people have started pointing out that he hasn't broken the 200 million mark for nearly a year now, which in 2024 was almost every upload. And somewhat unexpectedly today, Jimmy admitted just that, saying, after some reflection, I just want to say that I think that some of our newer YouTube videos haven't been as good as I wanted. I apologize. Your boy is going to go into ultra grind mode and make the greatest content of my life in 2026. Was bro not already in ultra grind mode? Now some in the comments were telling him to not be so hard on himself, while others were saying that he's been focusing on so many different things lately. It's impossible to excel at everything equally. However, some weren't so nice, saying that his videos have become too optimized for attention, them being too intense, loud, explosive with so many different camera angles. And others said that the high dollar amount and super big things angle is getting old. But what do you guys think? Are people just yapping and Mr. Beast's views are fine? Or are you actually starting to watch less?
Wait, Mr. Beast? They saying Mr. Beast is falling off, bro. If you go into his YouTube studio analytics, man, people who do YouTube know, bro. And how many people would want to freaking Mr. Beast fall off, bro? I just don't know, man. They said, I thought it was average of like 100 million views. I know it's 200 million. That just shows you Mr. Beast is in like a freaking class of his own, bro. Anything that doesn't break 200 million views, bro, it's like bad for him, man. I say I haven't even caught a million views, bro, on the vid. So that's still the dream for me, but I don't think, bro, Mr. Beast has fallen off, man. The views he's getting to me, no, but hey, I'm not as big as a YouTuber as he is.
Timothy Chalamet theory. Oh, that's it, bro! Timothy Chalamet, actually a rapper from the UK. And he's just playing a part. That's fine. He's making all this music as SD Kid. Yo, he's so smart too. He has a huge movie coming out. Oh yeah, the ping pong one. Yeah, Marty Supreme. I'm watching that one. So what if this is almost part of the rollout? The reason people think that he could be SD Kid is because Fake Mink has a huge song with SD Kid. Fake Mink had a concert and Timothy Chalamet was seen at the concert, by himself. Yeah. Obviously, Fake Mink is friends with SD Kid. Yeah. Could Timothy Chalamet be him? Then people started putting pictures together. Look at the eyes, bro. Does that not look like him? It does. He had the same scarf, same jackets. Wait, does SD Kid have an accent though? He does. He has a Scouse accent. Oh. But he's Timothy Chalamet, fam. He's one of the greatest actors. Would you really want to force an accent while you rap? Check this out though. The UK scene is an emerging market, and you know this. Now, this what low-key validates the theory. Is Timothy Chalamet way back in high school. He was actually known as Lil Timmy Tim because he was a rapper. In high school. It's your boy Lil Timmy Tim, aka 2 Inches Proud. You told me to spit some shit, I'm about to spit some shit impromptu. That shit. Me and I'm getting done on a daily. Timmy Tim, the next Slim Shady. Up to that. I got bars. Superstar.
This right here is wild as fuck. And it's also breaking news too, because Ziploc, the same brand people been trusting for decades, just got hit with a class action lawsuit, y'all. And the crazy part is, y'all, it's all over their labels. The microwave safe labels and the freezer bag safe label. The lawsuit said that these bags might be breaking down and releasing microplastics when you either microwave them or put them in the freezer. And if you know, you know. People been warning us about this for the longest time, saying that the chemicals break down into microplastics. So the lawsuit said that Ziploc misled customers, and they did, because people was using these to put their food in it, to freeze it. People was using the containers to heat up their food after it was cold. And all in all, they said that this was safe. And it's not safe at all. Of course, the company already released a statement saying the lawsuit is without merit, and that if you use the Ziploc and the containers the right direction, you'll be safe. 2025, we have been seeing things get exposed, new things come out the cut. So I'm just wondering what 2026 got in store. I really don't want to find out, but we gonna have to. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this down below in the comments. And are y'all still using Ziploc bags or Ziploc containers? And if not, what are you using?
Our entire neighborhood in Hong Kong lit up last night like a movie scene. Not fireworks, not protests. 4 skyscrapers burning at the same damn time. You ever seen fear through concrete? Well, you're about to. Look at this shit. Hong Kong, one of the most hyper-surveillance places on Earth. 4 high-rise residential buildings up in flames. Thousands of residents waking up to sounds of cracking glass. People screaming from balconies. Fire so intense, it lit the surrounding skylines blood red. Power gone. Signals jammed. Families were trapped 30 to 40 stories up with no way down. Parents trying to hold wet towels over their kids' faces because the smoke was choking stairwells. And all people were saying is it could be electric. Electric? 4 high-rise buildings? Look how fast that shit happened. One small blaze, wind hits, infrastructure falters, and suddenly you got a vertical wildfire. And if you know Hong Kong, you know their cities are stacked like Tetris blocks. So all it takes is one floor, one breaker, one faulty wind. Shit is gone. None of that shit is adding up. Condolences goes out to those families. I'm out.
Chinese researchers just built a humanoid robot powered by actual human brain cells. It's called Metabot. Inside the robot's head is a transparent container with pink brain tissue. Real human neurons cultured in a laboratory and connected to the robot through microelectrode arrays. Those brain cells control the robot's movements and decisions. The neurons fire, the robot responds. It's biological computing instead of artificial intelligence. And it works better than traditional AI in some ways. These brain cells learn tasks faster, use significantly less energy than data centers. They've already tested it. The robot successfully navigates mazes using only its biological brain to make decisions. But here's where this gets deeply uncomfortable. These are human brain cells, growing, firing, processing information. Do they experience anything? Can they suffer? We're potentially creating conscious biological entities with no rights, no choice, no freedom, just programmed to serve, living slaves trapped in machines. China isn't asking these questions, they're racing ahead. And if these brain cells are aware on any level, we've crossed a line we can't uncross. The technology exists right now. It's not science fiction. It's happening in labs today. When we start powering robots with actual pieces of human biology, are we creating the future of sustainable AI, or are we building conscious slaves that can't escape?
Bro, how many times I have to say it, man? iRobot, bro. This AI, they trying to give the robots so they can, operate fast and do tasks for us, man. It's gonna backfire on us, bro. The fact that they putting like a legit piece of a human brain in a robot just so it can make it do a task, man. I don't like that one bit, Seekers.
Fart inside a spacesuit. You might think it would have a special vent to let it out. But the base layer of the suit is airtight, meaning it traps everything inside, including smells. Now, it does have a system that pulls in bad air, like your fart, and traps them in special filters. But it doesn't make the smell go away, meaning for a few minutes, you're just stuck, floating in space, breathing in your own fart. He stepped into the trap, and it snapped shut on his leg. He tried to pry it off, but for the next few days, it remained stuck. Finally, the hunter who set the trap found him and let him go. But instead of helping, he just walked away. The man was too injured to move and was stranded with no phone. For 10 days, he tried to crawl back, eating bugs and drinking from a spring just to survive. 2 weeks later, a fisherman finally heard his cries, and even though he had lost 30 pounds and had a rotting foot, he did survive.
The thing I didn't realize is my experience with AI or ChatGPT is much different from yours. Even if we ask the same question, it will say something different. Right. I didn't realize this. Me and my friends were debating who was the best soccer player in the world, and I said Messi. My friend said Ronaldo. So we both went and asked our ChatGPTs the same question, and it said 2 different things.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this reminds me of the social media problem, which is that people think when they open up their newsfeed, they're getting mostly the same news as other people. And they don't realize that they've got a supercomputer that's just calculating the news for them. If you remember in the social there's the trailer, and if you typed in into Google, climate change is, and then depending on your location, it would say not real versus, a made-up thing. It wasn't trying to optimize for truth, it was just optimizing for what the most popular queries were in those different locations. I think that that's a really important lesson when you look at things like AI companions, where children and regular people are getting different answers based on how they interact with it.
You mean Michael Jackson's still alive and he's living in India? So Michael Jackson was allegedly seen in India. So there's these videos of this woman in India. There's this woman walking around town and she looks extremely out of place. And there's this mysterious aura to this woman, and even the locals can't figure out where she came from. And she showed up to the village in 2010, a year after Michael passed. And this is where it gets more worse. When locals see her walking around, they can tell that there is something wrong based on the way that she walks. One of the legs moves more differenter than the other. Even some people are claiming that she wears hooves instead of feet. A lot of locals claim that she is an evil spirit. However, a lot of people are convinced that this is Michael Jackson. A lot of people claim that Michael Jackson faked his own passing. His videos of Michael Jackson just days before his passing look like he was in the most bestest shape of his life. And with a lot of people saying that not only does this woman look like Michael Jackson, but the walk also looks very similar to Michael Jackson when he was injured. And also, Michael Jackson right now would be old. If Michael Jackson was still alive right now, he'd be 67 years old and would have bad hips after years of dancing. And no, the person in the dress is not Fabio Jackson. Michael Jackson did always love India. Do you think this is Michael Jackson?
I don't know, man. It just seems like what kind of coincidence, man. You know, the Michael Jackson movie getting come out now. All these Michael Jackson vids are popping up on TikTok. I don't know, man. I know. Did you guys see about those like two Michael Jackson impersonators? I guess he wasn't happy with the movie trailer or something like that, and he was going back and forth, and people were like, "Y'all really think y'all about to be in the movie?" Something like that, bro. That's crazy, man. But I don't believe. I don't think that was Michael Jackson. No. Mm-mm.
Something big is happening, and you need to hear this. Dr. Stephen Greer just launched a brand new podcast today on January 15th, and trust me, the timing is no coincidence. He revealed that within the next 72 hours or so, we're about to see a massive wave of UFO and UAP disclosures. Think about it. Why the urgency? Why now? What's about to drop in the next 3 days that could change the way we see the world? If you're as curious as I am, or even just as skeptical, this is our moment to tune in. Let's stay informed, let's be prepared, and let's figure this out together. Here's just a taste of what he said on his podcast. Check it out.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Stephen Greer, and this is the first episode of our podcast, Dr. Stephen Greer Podcast. And the reason we're starting this podcast now, rather emergently here today, is because we have a group of people who are in the process in the next 72 hours or so who will be coming forward with a great deal of information and evidence related to the UFO and NHI or extraterrestrial issue. And I think the public is going to need to have a source of perspective and context. And
So lately, a lot of people have been coming across this in their skies. And I, for one, have been one of those people as well, too. And we're trying to ask people, what is this? I have my own theory what this is, y'all. But what is this? This thing is spanning across one side of the mountain all the way to the other side, past the sun. Can y'all see this long line of shadow that is projecting on the mountain?
Okay, my whole life I've never seen this. This is a shadow on the mountain from the exhaust from that plane. That's insane. Oh yeah, I've never seen that before.
It's not coming from the exhaust of the planes, because when the planes see this, they try to actually hurry up and cover this up so people don't see this, y'all. It's like a direct black light source. You guys know about that black sun back there? Do you guys think that's what's causing that? Because I told you, people are seeing it all over. Check this out.
And this is no camera shakes. It looks like a dark rainbow. Comes into one of those things, and then it ends up dark over there. Like, what is that? That looks like just some sort of weird dark rainbow.
Yeah.
The source of this thing gotta be coming from behind the sun, right? Because if they're fighting in the sky to cover it, it's telling us the source is coming from above. But my question is, why is direct light coming down and hitting these places? Do y'all know what this is?
Man, that is weird. See that black thing going?
Dark rainbow.
That's from my window there.
You can still see it.
I saw this on my way home from work today. I don't know what it is. Can somebody please tell me? It was just a black line across the sky. I saw it twice and it disappeared both times.
Look at this.
Y'all see that fucking thing?
Look at that. Y'all seen that? Look at this. Wow. Like I said, y'all, I have my own theories of what this is, but let me know that in the comments below if you guys know what this is, y'all. The ship is here. Let's get it.
The most dangerous water slides in the world. This water slide was designed to have a loop at the end. When it was tested though, riders had injuries. Many had nosebleeds and a dummy was even decapitated. However, they still opened it to the public. When one woman got stuck on the loop, they finally closed it down. This water slide drops you 60 feet vertically and is known as the Leap of Faith. You can also be sent through a hammerhead and shark lagoon too. The sharks will come inches from the glass right up next to you. The tallest water slide in the world is the Buruk. This shoots you out at 70 miles per hour. When a 10-year-old boy's raft went airborne though, he passed away and the slide was brought into question. The owner lied when he said he didn't know what happened. There had been no safety regulations and the owner knew it. So the owner got charged with second-degree murder.
Things people do for money.
Facts that might ruin your day. There have been at least 2 fatal plane crashes due to wasps. We are all spending more than 6 hours a day on our phones, which is more than 25% of our entire existence. There are job applications out there that are only for collecting data. This is why large companies have positions that they never actually seem to hire. This wildlife painter from the 1800s would eat all of the birds that he painted. Bald eagles, owls, sparrows, robins, whooping cranes. 5,000 mail carriers are attacked by dogs every year. A 6-year-old's family thought he was too friendly with strangers, so they had a coworker that was a stranger to the boy hold him in a truck for 4 hours before lecturing him about stranger danger. Half of all plastic in the world has been created in the last 15 years. Crayons have a derivative of beef fat called stearic acid that is also what gives it its waxy smell. Loneliness can be as harmful to somebody's health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
We have a massive update on the people that were stuck upside down for over an hour. And this will make you never want to ride a ride ever again. So this took place during a middle school field trip in Portland, Oregon. And the full story behind this gets insane. Because not only are people saying that they're never going on a roller coaster again, but that the people that were stuck upside down for so long are going to have permanent effects. Because they were on so long, and even doctors have been saying that this is going to have a lot of issues. Because with too much blood to the brain, but now the people that were on the ride are finally talking about it. This guy just said that it was really scary. This guy said, still bleeping suffering from severe migraines due to being trapped upside down for 26 minutes at Oaks Park. Another person says, I was on this ride at Oaks Park with my little brother. He fainted and still has a migraine. We were forced to finish the ride, which was awful. But this guy, Stu, left the funniest comment I've ever seen. Oh, isn't Stu so funny?
World's most
Hey man, just a little known fact about me to my seekers out there. I'm not a lot like avid, ride of roller coasters. It's rare, but that's just something I can't do, the heights and stuff. That's one of the reasons why I stay away from the coasters, man.
dangerous attractions. Let's go. This Gap Bridge in China, located in the province of Chongqing, this theme park is known for its dangerous attractions, such as this Gap Bridge hanging 500 feet above the ground. Your goal is to walk across it without falling, but don't worry, you're held by a harness. This cliff swing in the same park. You get to sit on the swing over this 1,000 feet cliff. The ride lasts around 5 minutes, and apparently you get to enjoy this amazing view. Caminito del Rey in Spain. This one is definitely not made for people that are scared of heights. You'll have to hike for around 4.8 miles in scary conditions. From broken path to walking on metal bars, it reminds me of the game Uncharted. Cave diving in the Iquitakni River. This river is located in Florida, which allows you to dive in a very long but narrow cave with some holes sometimes smaller than your hips. Don't go there if you have claustrophobia.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's way too small. Imagine.
Here are some secrets hidden in everyday things. And have you ever wondered why movie theater seats are usually red? That's because in the 18th century, Italian opera houses had red seats. And this was a way to attract wealthy theater goers. Not only that, but red also has a longer wavelength for our eyes to detect. And this makes it harder to see in the dark. So when the lights go down in the movie theater, it'll all be dark. Now, bread tags actually do a lot more than just sealing the bread in the package. The different colors actually let employees know when to stock the bread. But it can also help us customers shop smarter, because each color represents a different day of the week that the bread was baked. Blue for Mondays, green for Tuesdays, red for Thursdays, white for Fridays, and yellow for Saturdays. So next time you shop for bread, make sure you pick the one that's the freshest.
Noted.
There is so much toxic pollution in Pakistan right now that it can literally be seen from space. This was Pakistan's Punjab province and parts of northwest India in August, and this is what it looks like right now. And let me just put this into perspective. According to IQ Air, which tracks global air quality, a reading above 300 is considered hazardous to a person's health. But the air quality index in Pakistan's second largest city on Monday was 1,200. Schools and government offices have been ordered to close. There's been a ban on all outdoor activities, and tens of thousands of people have been treated for respiratory issues. In fact, recently, India's air pollution has been found to be so bad that experts have warned that this smog could take years off of the lives of hundreds of millions of people. And if you're wondering where the hell does this smog come from, well, it comes from a number of pollutants, including farmers burning waste, coal-fired power plants, traffic, factories, and most recently, Diwali, which saw millions of people celebrate by lighting fireworks and crackers.
Normal-looking photos that have a disturbing backstory. This sweet-looking little girl is Jeannie, also known as the Wild Child, who spent the first 13 years of her life chained to a chair, and this photo was taken moments after she'd just been rescued. This normal-looking scenic painting features the ocean with the night sky. However, it was painted by Adolf Hitler, whose dream in life was to become an artist. However, he failed the entrance exam to art school and ultimately gave up. This photo of Richard Hickok and Perry Smith shows two murders after hearing that they'd been sentenced to death. They murdered a family of 4 and planned to rob them, but they found nothing worth stealing except for a mere $50. The girl on the left is wearing a wire. The girl on the right has no idea. Together they stabbed one of their friends to death, and the girl on the left confessed to the police and is now cooperating with them. Besides the pixelation, this looks like a couple getting married surrounded by their loved ones. However, all the children in this photo were horribly physically and mentally abused until a couple of them managed to escape.
News that will give you hope.
You never know.
This woman swept out to sea while at the beach was rescued after 37 hours of drifting over 50 miles in an inflatable swim ring. Overdoses have decreased for the first time in over 5 years. This stranger saved a 4-year-old from a flying puck at a hockey game. Every country has now banned the use of leaded gasoline in cars, with Algeria being the last one a couple years ago. Bruno was able to get a fresh start and a new life after 473 days in a shelter. A study of over 2 million people found that eating cheese is healthy for aging because of the lower stress that you experience in life. The amount of sugar consumed by kids in the United Kingdom halved in 1 year after a sugar tax was introduced. Scientists have developed a glowing dye that sticks to cancer cells, which helps scientists prevent cancer from coming back. This nearly extinct pupfish has hit a 25-year high with their population. There are less than 200 of them in one single cave in the Mojave Desert of Nevada.
Stumble across one of these historical items, you'd be an instant billionaire. Head to this temple in Kerala, India, and you'll make a lot of money, because the last person that opened a chamber here found over $20 billion worth of treasure inside. But there's a catch. No one will open the 2 remaining vaults because according to local legend, they're protected by 2 giant serpents. So if snakes aren't your thing, then perhaps try looking for the Tsar's lost treasure. Just off the coast of the beautiful Nantucket Island is a ship carrying billions worth of gold. Grab a scuba set and try, but be warned, because the shipwreck is over 80 meters deep and is infested with sharks. And finally, keep your eyes open for this skull. The Peking Man. First found in World War II, the skull is one of the most important fossils to ever be found. But the thing is, we lost it. It was last seen in 2 carefully packed crates leaving China, so if you find it, kindly bring it back and earn yourself hundreds of millions.
Wow. A
The
skull
most
is worth that
dangerous
much?
water slides in the world. This water slide was designed to have a loop at the end. However, when it was tested, riders had injuries. Many of them had nosebleeds and a dummy was even decapitated. However, they still went on to open it to the public. But when one woman got stuck on the loop, they finally closed it down. Next, this water slide drops you 60 feet vertically. It's called the Leap of Faith. You're also sent through a shark lagoon. The sharks will swim inches away from the glass right next to you.
Imagine if the shark like got through the glass. I'm good on that.
Scary things hidden in photos. Just a girl walking alone. But wait, she is holding someone's hand. Who is that? Siblings posing for photo. Freddy Krueger. Just friends taking picture after duty. Who is she? Normal photo of girl sitting in a bench. Slenderman was standing behind her.
These edits.
Just a photo of man. Who's that behind the door? Just a girl photo? Look closely. Just a normal photo at wedding. Who is that?
Dirty facts about history that school probably didn't teach you, part 2. A French president died from a blowjob. My man Felix Leray literally got his soul sucked out of him. He was both coming and going. The deadliest female serial killer in American history had murdered 35 people with an axe by the time she was 18 years old. When the ruler of Poland, Jadwiga, was considering a marriage proposal from the Grand Duke of Lithuania, her peers were worried because it was rumored that he had massive genitals and would kill his wife on the wedding night. They ended up sending 2 spies to Lithuania to find out if it was true, and they came back and happily reported that there was nothing to worry about. Powdered wigs were originally invented to cover up head sores caused by syphilis. The first person to examine semen under a microscope was Antony van Leeuwenhoek, the father or daddy of microbiology.
People are sending me creepy videos all the time.
Okay.
What would you do if you saw this woman while walking alone at night?
Stand into your soul.
What the was that?
Nope, not a new character. Just a super rare character that you'll probably never see. Meet the bush dog. Now at first glance, it looks like a little bear or Wolverine, but it's actually a 12-inch tall, fully carnivorous canine that's found in the Amazon. And like most canines, they're pack hunters, which makes them the smallest pack hunting canine in the world. They're basically what a Chihuahua wishes they could be. Not to mention, they hunt things like birds and rodents and even capybara. But the cool part is not what they hunt, it's how they hunt. Basically, the pack splits up into 2 groups when it comes time to hunt. One group stays on land, and the other group jump in water. They're really good in water. And the ones on land will find a prey and begin the chase. And usually the instincts of an animal who's running from a predator is to jump in water. You see where this is going? Once they jump in that water, they get ambushed. That will be their last mistake. I didn't know 12 inches could be so deadly. Other than that, we don't know too much else about them. Humans almost never see them. And as always, follow for more facts.
Interesting, man. Land and sea. Makes you wonder what other animals we haven't seen or know a lot about. Gets you thinking.
The strangest fact about each zodiac sign. Okay, firstly, it's scientifically proven that if you're a Gemini, you're good at lying. So the next time you're around a Gemini, you might not want to believe everything they say. Alright, next, if you're a Taurus, the strangest fact about you guys is you all are known to be stalkers. The scary thing is, you might never know they're doing this. Now, this one creeps me out. Out of all the signs, Scorpios are the ones who have the most dark and creepy thoughts. But my question is, what do you all be thinking about? Well, if that wasn't bad enough, Cancers are proven to be the most dangerous. They get arrested the most, and the crimes are usually pretty serious. I'm sorry to say, but if you're a Leo, it's proven that you guys are the worst drivers. Finally, this is probably the most unusual fact of them all. If you're an Aries, it's said that you are obsessed with death. This just doesn't sit right with me.
Leos are the worst drivers? I'm gonna have to look that up.
Hot take, not gonna apologize for it. 1v1, a Wolverine would whoop a honey badger. That Streets made this aggressive bold cut the face of Black Air Force energy. Old time the Wolverine's the CEO of Cell Block D tendencies. First of all, they're more than capable of hunting for themselves, but some dudes can't be bothered to get their own bread. Instead, they gotta steal from the baker. And by baker, I mean they'll tax animals like wolves, cougars, even bears. Let me remind you, they're about the size of a medium dog, yet the crackhead Courage can have an overgrown Canyon cat backpedaling. And you thought honey badgers were on timing. And they are, but Wolverines, where else are you gonna find a war weasel 2v1ing a pair of wolves? But don't get it twisted, they can hunt, and they are very good at it. They've been known to murk moose by either going after one that's already injured or one stuck in the snow, since felony ferret's like a psychopath with snowshoes. And they'll track you down and run your fade like John Wick. This reindeer was injured and likely bleeding, so the travel-sized bear followed it and delivered smoke directly to the face like a cigarette. They've also been known to eat porcupines, or at least die trying. And you can even find a story of a Wolverine packing up a polar bear. Yeah, it was at a zoo, but that's still a fat W. Wolverines have this really bad habit of whenever they find something that doesn't belong to them, they'll immediately soak it with the smell of death, strong enough to make you cry fresh from its brown eye. A smell so offensive they've been nicknamed Skunk Bear. There have been stories of them breaking into cabins, blowing up the place like a truck stop bathroom, and walking out with like a sock or something. Almost forgot, this walking garbage disposal has rotated molars in the back of its mouth, meaning they can chew through solid bone and frozen meat. I'm sorry, but a motivated skunk monkey is absolutely folding an Oreo-coated temper tantrum, but that's just me.
The weirdest things found underwater, part 1. On June 18th, 2021, a woman named Jennifer Dowker was diving in the Sheboygan River in Michigan when she found a stuffed bottle. Inside it was a letter from 1926 which stated, "Will the person who finds this bottle return this paper to George Morrow in Sheboygan, Michigan, and tell where it was found?" Jennifer then posted it on social media and it went viral. After some time, George Morrow's daughter saw it and contacted her and said that her dad must have placed the message in the bottle when he was just 18 years old. And in 1944, a boy from Estonia noticed tank tracks leading into a lake, and he saw air bubbles rising to the surface for 2 months straight. He waited for a while, but then moved on. However, decades later, he suddenly remembered that incident and told others about his memories, including the leader of the War History Club. This led to a recovery in 2000 of a Soviet T-34 World War II tank, which had been underwater since 1944.
Want to learn something new today? There was a cargo ship called Felicity Ace in 2022 that sank in the Atlantic Ocean with nearly 4,000 luxury cars, from Porsches to Lamborghinis.
Damn.
That sucks. Elvis Presley's manager sold I Hate Elvis badges as a way to make money from people who weren't buying Elvis Presley's merchandise. It's honestly a pretty genius move. I mean, Elvis wasn't doing anything wrong to be disliked, right? I don't know. And to make money off of people who hate him too is like, it's kind of petty. I like that. Every red box in this picture is showing people taking a photo or video of LeBron James shooting this shot. The green box, any green box in this picture is a person that is not capturing the moment and just living it. And what do you know? That person is Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. Apparently cinematographers, when they're at a concert and it's like raining really bad, have these really fast spinning glass lenses that allow rain to not land on it because it's moving so fast, and apparently it's used on ships for them to see out into like the fog and stuff too. Humans are very creative.
They actually make glitter out of people? This is insane.
Oh, people have been looking into glitter to see what it's made out of, and it appears it may be made out of humans? Yeah, there's been some investigating done, and they're finding out that glitter, they say that it's made of microplastics, but when they put it under a microscope, crematories.
Oh.
Fun! More and more people are looking at ashes that they have, and they're looking under a microscope, and they are looking identical to that of what glitter looks like.
When was the last time you saw Selena Gomez? Why do I ask? Because she appeared on an interview and was unrecognizable, leaving her fans both confused and concerned. If you haven't seen the interview, take a look at this.
Selena, what if one of your songs gets you moving and grooving when you're on your own?
That is not something I do often.
Does that look and sound like Selena Gomez? When the video starts and the questions begin, it seems like it's AI. She's just frozen in time, just staring into nowhere. Take a quick look at it again.
Selena,
okay.
What if one of your songs gets you moving and grooving?
Once the interview aired, fans immediately took to social media questioning what's going on with Selena Gomez. Fans were very quick to point out her transformation from 2024 to 2025 to what we just saw in that video. So the question needs to be asked, who is that in the interview? This is Selena Gomez not too long ago, and this is Selena Gomez in the interview. So what is going on with Selena Gomez? The question needs to be asked, has Hollywood claimed another celebrity? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Boys, a new sport has just dropped, and it is taking over TikTok right now. It's called Brave Ball, and as you can see, it's a wild combination of football and boxing. And the rules are simple. They're not at all. It seems like it's just normal football rules, but you're wearing gloves and a head guard, and whenever you get reaching distance to someone, you can smash the shit out of them. That's about all I've figured out. Now, it seems to have started in Poland by a martial arts club called Be Brave, but it's now spread to other countries in Eastern Europe, including Ukraine. And they're taking equality to the next level. Because as you can see, it looks like boys and girls are playing together. Now, it does seem that most of these videos are from actual martial arts clubs trying out new ways for their students to train. But the question is, would you play this or not?
Nah, bro, because imagine somebody get mad. You hit a goal, they knock you out, bro, from one punch. I feel like that's not going to end well, man. That's just asking for trouble, bro. Could you imagine that?
He moved into a house, but when he moved into the house, he didn't realize that the old owner, his son, passed away. Okay. So that's why they wanted to move out. Now, he would get knocking at his door at night, and he would hear like kids laughing. He automatically assumed like, hey, something is going on here. It's just not right, and you get eerie vibes through the house. One day, he was walking through a hallway in the house, and he could hear a laugh. So he walked up to a bathroom from the hallway. He recorded it too. It's like clear as day, like a shape of a child. And he goes up to it. The closer he gets, he like falls back behind where he's hiding, and it just disappeared. Wait, straight up, right there.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you can see it like clear. You can see it like clear. Look. Wait. He hides back, and it's gone. Yeah. You can hear the laughing, and then the guy's crying for him because he's like so scared. Yeah.
That has to be fake.
And it's gone.
That has to be fake, bro.
I'd be scared too. Oh no, I'm out, moving out the next day. Plain and simple.
It's real convenient that nobody is speaking about what's going on in Alaska right now. No news coverage, nothing. So a typhoon hit Alaska with Category 4 hurricane wind. And if you know what a typhoon is, you know what a typhoon can do. This typhoon destroyed several native villages in Alaska. Jump down the rabbit hole. You'll see people's homes floating. You'll also see plots where homes used to be not there anymore. And again, you'll see that nobody's talking about this. The only people that's talking about this is on social media. Mind you, they're saying over 20 people are unaccounted for. They can't find them. Missing. Gone. But guess what? It might be way more than 20 people that's missing. It might be way more than 20 people that lost their lives. Now, you also got to remember that FEMA was defunded. No news coverage, and they're saying that help is supposedly on the way. But if nobody's reporting these stories, letting people know what's going on, how do we know that help is really going to get there? Let me say this to you again. Homes are being swept away. This typhoon or hurricane winds and flooding to Alaska and rural areas. Alaskans need help. We need to get this message out there.
I saw this video.
Spread
It was
the
in
word.
Arizona, and they were like waiting for a fireworks show, and you saw this thing. It looked like a meteor coming down, and they're like, "Oh wow,
It's
is
like
that a
bright
meteor?"
orange, just leaving a stream.
And then all of a sudden, it breaks apart. These like 3 or 4 like light bulbs thing, or like lights in the sky, just stop. Yeah. And then they start going sideways. Turn. And the lady's like, "What the?" And then scrolled a little more. Someone caught something, and then they started going this way. And then I saw some in Texas, in Oregon.
People say it's like, oh, skydivers, and it's like, you know how skydiving
Can you
works?
see this? All right, watch this.
How would that be a skydiver?
Yeah. Oh, that's.
Well, they said they were like skydivers with like flares, but like, how do they stop and then go sideways? They see it break apart.
Weird.
Breaks apart. Those stop up there.
Weird.
Those stop, and then those 4 stop.
They just hold it. Yeah, they turn up almost. It's like that's like it's weird.
I don't know.
The fact that there's several videos from several different angles,
Yeah.
several different places on the same night.
Yeah.
Oh, it's weird. It's
Weird.
And then this one. This will be the last UFO video I'll show you today.
Everything makes sense now,
Weird.
like why Ice Spice was acting weird, y'all. Look at the picture. Look at who she's in the picture with. This lady has been behind some of the craziest pictures. And one of them being the jump with Travis Scott, where it looked like his soul was leaving his body. This lady is openly satanic. And I really believe Ice Spice is almost completing her ritual, fool. It started with Taylor Swift. Everybody already know when she was at the football games with Taylor Swift, and then the camera went on Taylor and her, and she did the little sign. Y'all know what sign I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. I still believe Taylor is her handler, but she's completing it. This video, I don't know who this fashion dude is, but I guess he's somebody of significance because the way he gripped on Ice Spice, it looked like they dating. But maybe he just I don't know. Y'all look at the video.
Okay.
Who is this dude? Look at this shit. Watch how he planted his hand on her belly. He gripping the waist. Look at this shit, y'all. Watch his hand placement. I need y'all to look at his face, look at her face. Look. Hand. Look. What the fuck? Is that a face of regret? I might be tripping, but that's why I got y'all for. Let me know in the comments. Do y'all think I'm tripping? Or am I on to something? What do y'all notice?
Have you ever noticed how
What do you
so
think?
many celebrities pass away at age 27? This is actually a theory called the 27 Club. It's an unofficial club of famous people who passed away at 27 years old. The 27 Club's origin began with famous blues musician and songwriter Robert Johnson. Legend has it that Robert sold his soul to the devil at a crossroads in exchange for extraordinary music talent. Following this deal, he became an icon in the music industry, and his lyrics told stories of working with African magic. After his great success as a musician, Robert would be found dead outside of a plantation house in Mississippi. Before his death, it was rumored that Robert had been having an affair with a local tavern owner's wife. It's said that the tavern owner poisoned Robert's whiskey before bringing him to the plantation house, where Robert would roam around in a stupor for several days before collapsing and dying at the age of 27. Because of the urban legend surrounding Robert's talent and his rise to fame, and the coincidence of other famous musicians also dying at this age, the idea of the 27 Club was born. Other members of the club include people like Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, just to name a few. Kurt Cobain's death is what really perpetuated this idea of a 27 Club that we all know today. And sadly, before her death, Amy Winehouse would admit to her personal assistant that she was afraid she would end up joining the 27 Club, which she ultimately did.
Y'all seen the surgery that is changing people's eye colors to blue permanently? So in this surgery, this doctor is basically just painting people's eyeballs, and it's called a honey gold paint. And the way that it works is that it hides your old eye color and adds that layer of paint on top of your current eyeball. But this is where it gets even so much more worse. So there's this video right now of this guy going around where after his surgery is done, he asked the doctor, is this permanent? You can see the regret and pain in this dude's eyes when he found out, yes, this is permanent. And it's not just this guy. The doctor has so many videos of all these different patients as soon as they get their eye surgery done, and they all look so surprised when they see their new eye. And I hate to break it to these people, not everybody is meant to have blue eyes. And even more insaner, the doctor doesn't just give out blue eyes, he also does emerald eyes, and these are what the emerald eyes look like. Yep, looks emerald to me, and I actually have to say, this one looks really natural. I think that this guy's look even more naturaler. This one is my most favorite. As of now, the doctor who makes these eye surgeries videos' response has been to ignore the haters. If you had the opportunity, would you get this surgery done? Please.
Nope, I ain't messing with that, bro. But what mistake you, man, you could go blind. I keep my natural eye color, bro. The way nature intended.
Tell me that all of you have seen the video now of the alien that was captured on the Ring camera in California. Now, if you haven't seen this video, it's the clearest video we've gotten so far of an extraterrestrial just wandering around on Earth. Now, this video has actually gotten so much traction that it's made it to mainstream news. Now, sometimes I don't believe the things mainstream news puts out there because, come on, it's mainstream news. They're meant to deceive you and point you in the direction that your government wants you to go in. But this video is quite amazing. Now, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to show it to you. But a Ring camera, a lady in California caught this on a Ring camera at 1 a.m. You can listen to the interaction back and forth with her and her child. I'm going to show you the video, but tell me what you think of this, because this is pretty cool.
I'm literally going crazy, like I'm losing my mind. And I took the phone to my son, so I was like, can you check this button? I was like, am I seeing things, or is this? And it's like, Mom, it's an alien.
In that interview, she says that her son was like, it's an alien, call the cops.
A door,
Okay.
a massive door, carved in the side of a mountain, 6,500 feet above sea level. That door is at least hundreds, if not thousands of years old. And it's in the mountains of Pakistan. The door, carved into the side of a mountain, you can see right there. That's not natural. Somebody made that. And like I said, it's at least hundreds of years old. So what's it doing there on almost the top of a mountain? I don't know. 2 explorers found the mysterious doorway and used a drone to take pictures of it from the sky so you could get more of a view of the size and shape and how big it is compared to a person. Now, right away, what I was thinking, other people started thinking too. It reminds me and them of the doorway from Jabba's palace in Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. That's what it looks like. But I want to know what's behind this massive door, hundreds of years old, up in the mountains, and what's behind it. Let me know your thoughts on this, Booshkies, in the comment section. Shabadoo.
Have y'all ever seen weather like this in Arizona? In the desert, y'all? Cause first of all, what is this even called? They're trying to call this a microburst, y'all, but I've been living in Florida my whole life, and I know a hurricane when I see one. This is like a Category 2 hurricane or something like that, y'all. Look at this right here is not normal, because even in the hurricanes in Florida, you can see through the rain and wind. I guess the energy in the desert just hits different, because winds were hitting about 100 miles an hour, y'all, and about 10,000 people lost power in their homes. And from the outside looking in, you would think this didn't do much damage, but a lot of people were forced out of their homes.
Dang.
So what the fuck just happened in Arizona? What the fuck?
Ooh, look at that truck. Oh my gosh, look at the buildings. They really took a beating out there in Tempe, Arizona. Look at the trees just falling on top of the cars, the buildings, the homes. And I'm sure there is a lot of cleanup to be done, y'all. Oh my goodness. I feel like we're in a movie.
On Monday, this apartment complex near Southern and Mill getting hammered. Trees falling on several of the apartment buildings. Folks trapped inside until Tempe Fire and Medical could help them get out. See some folks climbing down ladders, others waiting on their pets who were trapped inside. Thankfully, Tempe Fire and Medical says there were no injuries here, but several dozen folks will be displaced. The American Red Cross now assisting them, trying to get a shelter open and finding them places to stay. They say there are about 50 units affected, and it could be as many.
Are you guys seeing this wind? Look at the structure to this wind. Y'all see that? Something is definitely shifting out there, you guys. And if you guys like the content, like, follow, share for more videos like this, y'all. I keep telling y'all, the shift is here. Y'all see it, y'all feel it. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
The year 2020 was just a test run. The digital ID is the real thing. Pretty soon, the whole world will need one of these. If you want a bank account, if you want to travel, if you want to shop, if you want to buy, you will need this. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. When we signed up to join these social media apps, did you know that we sold our digital rights? Now they own everything we do. But I'm gonna come back to this. What's taking place right now is the Matrix upgrade. We already live in a matrix. It's called nature. And nature gave us the greatest technology, the physical body. Your eye is a clock. Your nose is a sensor. Your ear is a satellite. Your brain is a projector. And our spine is an antenna that connects us to the stars in the universe. But we have another system that's trying to destroy the real system. And this will destroy everything. If you ever look at the back of a dollar bill, you notice that you will see an all-seeing eye on a pyramid. That one eye is artificial intelligence. But let's go a little deeper. When you look at this image, what do you really see? When spiritual people wake up, what's the first number they see on a digital clock? When you look at this image, what do you see? On each corner of this dollar bill, you see a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1, which is 1111, giving birth to a new reality, artificial intelligence. I have a question. How many people read the contracts to join these social media platforms? Probably none of us.
Yeah.
So we sign contracts selling our digital rights. Therefore, they can take our profile and do whatever they want to do with it. Pretty serious. The word digital means finger and toe. Remember, we sold our digital rights when we signed these contracts or put a check next to it. every child was born, our parents signed our birth rights away to the system. And we just signed away our digital rights, which is the new reality. It's a reason why digital means finger and toe. When a child is born in a hospital, what do they take? Our fingerprints and our footprints, finger and toe. They hide the truth in plain sight, but so many people can't see it. This 11/11 was always with us. We thought that it meant some kind of spiritual evolution. Yeah, it do, for some of us. But it also means giving birth to our new world, artificial intelligence.
The easiest horror movie characters to survive, part 3.
Here we go.
Now, last time I checked, the reason that the demon transfers is because you're about to see someone. I'm big brain, so why don't I just close my eyes before someone ends up doing that? And I avoid the demon altogether. There's no way he's going to transfer through my eyelids if they're shut. So as long as I don't see someone doing that, I should be good. You then have any version of Ghostface. Now, yes, I know there's multiple Ghostfaces, sometimes 3, sometimes 2, sometimes 1, but they're all stupid. If you really look at these movies and you see how clumsy these characters are, they're just getting lucky. They're not actually making big brain plays. Most of the time you're hitting them with fridges or outrunning them, throwing things down the stairs and they're getting tripped up. They're just normal people. If you find out that there's a mass unaliver in your town and it could possibly be your friend, hop in your car, check the back seat in the trunk, and dip. And if you have to fight them one-on-one, hopefully there's only one, but 9 times out of 10 you should be able to catch a break enough to run away. You then have my boy Jason Voorhees. Now I'm not talking the 2009 remake where bro is a hunter and can sprint. I'm talking about normal, slow-walking Jason Voorhees. Most of the time bro's only hanging out at Camp Crystal Lake. Just don't go camping at Camp Crystal Lake. Second, bro walks everywhere. Yes, extremely strong, super strength, inhuman durability. Just don't get in his way. I know I'm making it sound simple, but if you really, really think about it, in most of the movies, people are messing with him for no reason. Why are you coming back to Camp Crystal Lake? Stay home. Like and follow if you'd like to see a part 4.
Disturbing body facts that
would you guys survive?
Day. If you have a surgery where your other organs need to be moved around, they might not function a day after the surgery because the body assumes they're just dead. Next, the brain is the last thing to function when you pass away, meaning in most cases you'll hear, feel, and smell your last moments on Earth. And it's possible to die from a pimple. Let me explain. If a pimple gets infected, let's say from you itching it, the infection could get into your bloodstream, causing you to have an intense fever. Then, a few days later, you will start having seizures and vomiting everywhere, so try not to play too much with your pimples. And finally, it's possible to get brain damage from a toothache, because if you have a tooth infection, there's a high chance of it getting to the brain if it's not taken care in time.
Man, I never even knew that. The more you know.
Elephants are the biggest crash outs in the animal kingdom, and no, that's not a weight joke. These drug merchants can be menaces when they want to be, and whoever decided to lie and make this up actively took names off the census, which the elephants don't need help doing, seeing as the pachyderms pass 10 to 500 people a year, allegedly. Y'all remember that elephant that broke out of a sanctuary, traveled over 100 miles just to life-deprive a 70-year-old senior citizen while she was getting water? And he stayed mad for 100 miles straight. Not only that, he pulled up to her funeral, grabbed her soul-divorced body, and said, you know what, 0 HP ain't enough, I need you in the negatives. Now, a lot of y'all said she deserved it because she was involved in poaching and elephant mafia slid, and yeah, that could be true. She also could have breathed, since sometimes that's all it takes. There's a reality where someone's grandmother got murked completely unprovoked. Got put on a shirt, except the shirt was reversible. Like all males, eventually elephants get to the point where all they want to do is multiply without a calculator. Damn, what's on the camera, did he? The problem is, when they're big enough to want it but not big enough to do something about it, they act out by attempting to off each other. Of course, sometimes they get frustrated when they smell the scent of a female on a baby, leading to them yeeting the baby. He really just Kobe the calf. He's fine though. Now, but the worst crash outs are the ones we created. So poaching, right? It's usually the older, bigger bulls that get hit the hardest, obviously. Problem is, without those same seasoned bulls, the younger, immature bulls start wilding all the way out. What happens when you get hormonal teenage 10,000-pound frat boys with no father figure? Hell if I know. For an elephant, fatherless behavior means turning an angry unicorn from a tight end to a whiteout. In the 90s, 3 angsty elephants murked not 1, not 2, not 10, but 63 rhinos got folded by the 3 musketeers of malice. It wasn't until they brought back the older seasoned bulls that the younger males fell back in line. They're chill most of the time, but let them flip that switch and they're editing the census with a backspace button. Still my favorite animal though.
A teacher is going to prison after making a teenager do something absolutely shocking. It was 2023 at South Fremont High School in St. Anthony, Idaho. That November, school teacher Jessica Lawson, age 36, was arrested. The story that would unfold would go on to shock the local community. Jessica was sat in the passenger seat of a car and police spotted it due to a damaged tailgate. And thank God police did stop this car. When officers looked inside, they found the teacher was with a teenage boy. Now, the teenager was actually driving the car and they decided to get them to pull over and to interview the boy in private. What they discovered was truly disturbing. The teacher had picked the child up from his parents' house. She allegedly gave him alcohol and substances and then had SA'd him. She ultimately made the teenager then drive her vehicle because she was too intoxicated. She was arrested and given 2 years in prison, but she could now be facing more time behind bars. This is for pleading guilty to battery of a child. He's also been given a 20-year no contact order with the victim of this crime.
This doll is so dangerous it's locked in a box. This doll right here is named Robert, and he's the most infamous doll in the entire world. And the story behind him will creep you out. In 1904, a little boy received Robert the doll as a birthday gift. At first there was nothing wrong, like he was just a normal doll. But then the little boy started saying strange things like, Robert made me do it, Robert told me to say this. And this little boy was very well behaved up until this point. He never got into trouble. But now he was getting into trouble every single day at school and blaming it on the doll. One day the family woke up to the little boy screaming on the floor with the doll on top of him with a knife. People even claim to see the doll moving. And now this doll is locked in a box in the Florida Keys. A lot of him that go to visit him think it's fake at first, but then they claim to feel some kind of demonic force once they actually go into the room. There's even a sign that makes you ask him for permission to take a photo. And they say if you don't, you end up having a lot of bad luck after. Do you think this could be demonic?
Animals with shock.
Do you, man? We'll be seeing that Robert doll in a couple of clips, so I think there's merit to those claims, especially about them. They saying how people be taking pictures of them and bad stuff happened to them. That's some dark energy in that Robert doll, bro. Stay away.
Shocking defense mechanisms. Horned lizard. This small reptile can shoot blood from its eyes as a defense mechanism. It lives in Northern and Central America. The blood contains chemicals that taste bad to predators, helping the lizard escape. Hairy frog. It is also known as the Wolverine frog because it can break its own bones and push them through its skin to form sharp claws when threatened. This horror frog lives in Central Africa.
The fastest thing
Wolverine
in the world,
frog?
part 2.
Crazy.
Fastest internet, Singapore, 184.65 megabits per second. Fastest running insect, Australian tiger beetle, 5.6 miles per hour. Fastest woman, Florence Joyner, 22 miles per hour. Fastest helicopter, Bell Boeing V-22 Osprey, 351 miles per hour. Fastest spacecraft, NASA's Parker Solar Probe, 93 miles per second.
This woman passed away a few hours after this photo was taken when she flew to Turkey for a mommy makeover. 38-year-old Kaydel Brown flew from the UK to Istanbul with her sister Leanne, and she had a procedure done at Clinic Expert. Her procedure included a tummy tuck, liposuction, and BBL. The entire process leading up to the surgery was perfect. They even offered a discount for Kaydel, and that's what made her want to do her surgery here. But things took a turn a few hours into the surgery when the doctor came out and told her sister that Kaydel was dead. This is the doctor that performed her surgery, and she said that with these types of procedures, it is very high risk. Now, you would think that things could not get worse, but when Kaydel's body was brought back to the UK, the coroner told her family that large parts of her organs were missing, such as her brain and her heart. During an interview, the sister said that legally they couldn't do anything and that the clinic was allowed to take the organs if they wanted to.
They returned a body they'd kept pieces of her heart and her intestines. How hard was that to hear? Don't know. I didn't think it was allowed, but they said it's legal. They can take what they want. Well, I thought you'd have to ask at least permission from family before you took anything, but they sent a death certificate straight away. Just put no, there's not even a cause of death.
But a lot of people believe that her organs were removed to sell them.
The dumbest conspiracy theories on Earth that people actually believe.
Break it down.
So, let's take a look. The moon doesn't exist. Right. Yeah, sure. People believe the moon is a hologram that is projected into the sky every night. What? Oh my days. Now, I'm sorry. The dinosaurs built the pyramids of Egypt. Yeah, I bet they did. Who is writing these? What? It says that it was written in the Old Testament that dinosaurs helped the Egyptians to build the Great Pyramids. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. Lizard people are running the world. Look, I'm not being funny, mate. This isn't Spider-Man. What? No. Approximately 12 million people in America believe that the government is made out of lizards. Guys, if you're watching this video, what are you doing? What are you doing?
They might be mad to the lizard ones, though. I've
Here
seen
is
those
humans
clips.
that have actual superpowers. So Stephen Wiltshire is an autistic artist who can draw an entire cityscape inclusive of all architectural details from his memory after only seeing it once.
A loose goat returned home with a medal after he accidentally joined a half marathon over the weekend, and his owner only found out when she woke up to find social media flooded with photos of her goat in the middle of the race. Joshua the goat lives at a pumpkin patch in Conception Bay South, and the route for the town's very first Trailway Trek half marathon went right by his home. Mr. Joshua is a very friendly little guy, and he's used to following people around while accompanying his family on walks. So when he saw people running by, he must have thought it was a cue for him to join. Fueled by adrenaline, Joshua managed to escape his pen and started keeping pace with the runners as if he were a trained athlete. Volunteers tried to contain him, but Joshua was determined to run his race, dodging anyone who tried to stop him. Meanwhile, Heidi Taylor, the owner of Taylor's Pumpkin Patch, had no idea that Joshua had made his own morning plans until she happened to check social media and came face to face with dozens of photos of her goat mid-marathon. She used the post to track his location and showed up with his favorite snacks, which finally enticed him to take a break. Once he was secured on a leash, Heidi took Joshua to the finish line, where he was presented with a medal for finishing first place in the goat division. Joshua ran an estimated total of 3 miles, but in the eyes of the locals, he was the race's undisputed champion. He's now back home, resting after his big day. And Jen and I post something positive every day.
This is what the perfect human body looks like according to science. And yes, women would have bloody baby pouches. A group of anatomists wanted to see what a person would look like if the human body evolved for peak functionality, and then took inspiration from other species that do things better. So firstly, the human 2.0 would have a sturdy chimp's lower back and the shock-absorbing legs of an emu. Posing it here for all my feet people out there. Rare. To improve blood circulation, she has tiny pumps in her groin. I'm not hearing anybody else. Our senses would be enhanced by having supersized eyes and the ears of a cat. Apparently titties are a flaw and had to go. Alright, inside we'd have the reliable heart of a dog, the graceful lungs of a swan, a choke-proof windpipe. To ensure a pain-free childbirth, women would nurse their babies in a marsupial pouch. So the question is, if this is what the perfect woman would look like, what would change for a man?
That's like it looked like a freaking human hybrid mixed up with just different animals combined. What were those? That's what the perfect, I guess they said evolutionized human look like. It's gonna look like in a couple of years. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's a head
An
turner.
animal that doesn't die? Giant Galapagos tortoise can live 150 years old. There's a quahog named Ming that was 500 years old. But this fascinating creature doesn't die. Tiny jellyfish are known as biologically immortal. If adults injured or can't find food, folds in on itself and turns back into a larva. Like a butterfly back to a caterpillar. So they just live for millions of years? Still dies if it gets eaten.
Let's try to guess the religion of these YouTubers. Mr. Beast, I feel like he's Catholic, no? He's gotta be a Christian for sure. I know Chandler definitely is. Agnostic, really? I wouldn't expect that. Speed is Christian for sure. Not sure which denomination, but definitely Christian. Yep, there we go. Same with Kai. I feel like a lot of the streamers are religious. Yep, there we go. PewDiePie. Well, he's European, so I feel like there's a decent chance he's Christian. But he's a curveball. He lives in Japan now, so maybe like a Buddhist. No atheist, really.
Okay.
Markiplier's a curveball to me. I feel like he could be anything. Maybe like agnostic for him. A-religious. So what's that? Like non-religious, basically? Aiden Ross is Jewish for sure. Yep, Jewish. And then I know Ryan Tran's like a converted Christian. He's big into God now. Yep. Alright, nice.
Things humans weren't meant to see.
Okay. Did any of those YouTubers shock you? I ain't gonna lie, we're gonna have to call Cap on this, man. It's a good edit though, but yeah, I'm calling Cap. Yeah, that's cap. Like I said, if y'all see anything that's cap, bro, I need your help. Call it out. So we can learn together, man. This should be trending worldwide of footage like this actually got out. Wait, what the heck? It's like a damn dog.
Things that only 0.01% of people can do. Touching your nose with your tongue. Yeah, I can't do it. Apparently some people can't just raise one eyebrow. I think I can do it. And apparently some people can't cross their eyes, and I'm pretty sure I just did it. Sneeze with your eyes open. Okay, that's impossible. Nobody can do that. Apparently rolling your tongue is super rare. So apparently I'm a rare person. Apparently some people can bend their hand upwards. How is that possible?
People who turn themselves
Can any of you guys do that, bro? I couldn't do none of that.
into animals. Toko-san. A Japanese man has spent 12,000 pounds on a hyper-realistic costume to fulfill his lifetime dream of being an animal. He commissioned Seven, a company that makes costumes for TV adverts and films, to produce his bespoke costume. Took them 40 days.
The world's first human dog.
Did you know there might be a dead body in the cargo space of the next airplane you fly in, and you wouldn't even know? Hello, and welcome to Not So Fun Facts, a series where I tell you unsettling facts. Back in the 18th and 19th centuries, dentures were sometimes made out of dead soldiers' teeth. As you can imagine, they didn't last very long. Have you ever felt something so cold that it felt hot? Some people who die of hypothermia are found naked because as their body temperature drops, they start to feel burning hot and take off their clothes, leading to an even quicker death. Like and follow for more.
There was something evil in this woman's room, because it looked like her dog was telling her she saw something that her owner couldn't. A woman in Sydney was woken up at 5 a.m. by her dog, Coda. She started shaking uncontrollably and looking at something that was in the room with them.
She's shaking. It's like getting in a defensive position.
The woman kept looking to see what it was, but she couldn't see anything. But strangely, Coda was on defense the whole time.
You can see she's trying to protect its owner. Dogs can
Coda
see the
then
spirit.
hopped in the bed, keeping her eyes on whatever was there, aggressively growling at it. What exactly did Coda see in that room? And what would you do in this situation? Let me know what you think.
I'm getting the hell out the roof.
She's known as the most haunted doll in Iowa and one of the most haunted dolls in the United States. It's said that Ginger is possessed by a demon. People have seen her move by herself. She's been recorded jumping off of tabletops, and people have watched her pick things up. Nobody knows what type of a spirit is inside of Ginger, but she's kept locked in this box because people are so afraid of her. Look into her eyes, and you might see a demon. The full video of us investigating Ginger at the haunted Malvern Manor will be out this Wednesday on the Paranormal Files, my YouTube channel. The link is in my bio.
Robert got some competition, bro. Robert versus Ginger. Who gonna win? Haunted
Psychology hacks you need to know. If someone is trying to make you decide something in a hurry, they're most likely giving you a bad deal, and you should just walk away. If a person is trying to intimidate you, stare at their forehead with a blank expression. This will psychologically make them self-conscious. Chewing gum when you're nervous really does help, because your brain thinks, I'm eating, so I must not be in danger. If you want to know if someone is interested in what you're saying, cross your arms. If they cross their arms too, this is called mirroring, and it actually means they're interested in the conversation. If you need to remember to do something tomorrow, just put something in your room out of place. The next day, you'll see this item out of place, and you'll remember why you put it there. Finally, if two people are arguing, stand in between them and eat something. It'll help alleviate the tension.
Really? I've seen that a couple of times before. I wonder why people
Things
did that.
almost no humans can do, apart from not shot, and if you can, then you're bloody weird. This is where you bend your thumb back onto your hand like that. Only 1% of humans can actually do this. Try this video if you can do it.
I can't. You guys try.
Humans were never meant to see. They strapped a camera on a shark, and look what it captured.
Hold on. Shark GoPro?
You can see the camera is attached. Now, as the shark goes deeper in the water, you won't believe the shocking sighting it caught. Wait for it.
What it saw?
Now look closely.
You guys see it? Oh, that's like look like a big hand. What the fuck?
Here it comes.
Oh, I thought we already saw it. What the fuck?
Is that a mermaid?
If kids' drawings were real, easily one of the most creepiest videos I think I've ever looked at. I mean, the one I think terrifies me the most. It's just strange, distorted faces, man. Gosh, this is like nightmare fuel. And the cat.
It is. It's pure nightmare fuel, bro.
Maps that will change the way you see the world. This is how many lives of politicians were ended in Mexico just in the first half of 2024. Any country in blue on this map used to display people at zoos. This map shows air quality in Europe. Dark blue is the cleanest air, and red is the air that can cause problems. This map shows every nuclear power plant in the world, with green being operational, red being shut down, and blue being under construction. In the state in red is where a popular adult entertainment website has been banned as of July 1st. This map shows where all of the pirate attacks have been located in the 21st century, with red being the very hot areas. There are 1 billion people in each individual color on this map. This map shows the topography of Peru, and this map shows the topography of Germany. These are the hottest temperatures that have ever been recorded in every U.S. state. This map shows which gender has the highest BMI on average. The red countries are where more women have a higher BMI, and the blue countries are where more men have a higher BMI. And yellow is just equal.
I saw a lot of red, bro. And blue. Man, you gotta do better, bro.
Let's talk about some of the craziest true crime documentaries that are coming out in October.
Talk about
we're
it.
going to get some of the best of the year. The Menendez brothers are getting a documentary on Netflix where they're actually going to tell their own story. This is, of course, coming on the heels of the Netflix Ryan Murphy show about them, but in this one, they're actually interviewed. Also, I'm Kaylin, and I love giving recommendations if you want to follow along. And then 2 days later, we're actually getting a Scamanda documentary on Hulu. That's the story of how Amanda Riley scammed people out of hundreds of thousands of dollars by pretending to have cancer. It was originally a podcast, and so was Sweet Bobby, which is also getting a documentary this month. It follows one of the craziest catfishing stories I've ever heard, and you kind of just have to see it to believe it. And this one's kind of crazy, but there was a Chris Brown documentary kind of made in secret called A History of Violence. It's going to be on Hulu, and it was actually made by the people who made Quiet on Set earlier this year. And then in time for spooky season, Disney Plus is putting out Witches, The Truth Behind the Trials. It promises to tell a kind of unknown history about the witch trials starting back when they were taking place in Europe. And then the one I'm probably the most excited for is a Netflix doc called This Is the Zodiac Speaking. It's a 3-part docuseries that apparently really focuses in on one suspect in the Zodiac case. Which ones are you going to be watching this month?
The Brittany Poser.
You guys gonna check that out?
I think it's safe to say this might be the best horror movie of this year. You literally have Art the Clown unaliving a Santa Claus with a chainsaw. He's then going to wear his suit. Well, with the fact that Art the Clown is finally coming to a video game, he's going to be in Call of Duty in the next couple days. He's finally starting to get the recognition he deserves. With that, here's every theory in my own theory for Terrifier 3. Starting with my own, at some point Sienna's going to be going to the 9th Circle of Hell, aka the first spot Art the Clown took his victims in order to get immortality. She's going to go there and either sacrifice herself or someone else, or put something up as fodder in order to get Art the Clown off of Earth. Then I have a theory online speculating that the final girl from the first movie is going to be possessed by a demon and try to unalive Art the Clown with Sienna and her brother. Now that made sense to me for a while, until I took another look at the original photo that came out for this movie. She's with Art the Clown sitting on top of an unalive Santa Claus. Is Art the Clown the demon that's possessing her? I think that's a massive possibility. It's that strong. I've also been seeing theories online that this is young Cien, and her first time seeing Art the Clown. She was over at her friend's house or at a sleepover during Christmas time. Art the Clown came in and unalived everybody's parents, and that's where his obsession with her started, hence the reason he's all about her. Me personally, I genuinely have no idea where this movie's going. All I know is it's going to be absolutely insane, and the first 5 minutes are going to shock everybody.
Maps that will change the way you see the world. This is a prediction of what the world is going to look like 250 million years from now. These are the CO2 emissions across the Indian subcontinent, with the lightest, whitest areas being the highest.
Damn.
This map shows all of the foreign military presence that is sitting in Africa right now. This map shows the most valuable Italian brands and where exactly they came from. If you draw a straight line between the northernmost point and southernmost point in the contiguous United States, along with the westernmost point to the easternmost point, the lines do not intersect. This map shows what the size of the Great Lakes would look like if it was in Europe. This map shows which state you could find the highest percentage of people with ancestry from every European country. This map shows where every popular sitcom took place. Every red dot on this map is a football pitch or a soccer field if you're from the United States. This map shows that in 1990, most of the United States had 15% or less obese adults in their state, where less than 30 years later, now almost every state has more than 25% obesity rates.
The deadliest game show I bet
Sad.
you've never heard of. The show was called The Chamber, and only 3 episodes aired before it was canceled. Why cancel it so soon? Well, they literally tortured the contestants. The game was rather simple. In the pre-game face-off, 2 contestants would go back and forth answering questions. The winner moved on to the main game. The loser was sent home packing. The main game is where you would enter into the chamber. You were offered a $500 buyout if you didn't want to go any further, but nobody took it. When you entered the chamber, you would be strapped into a chair and hooked up to electrodes, muscle contractors, and medical equipment. And then a computer would choose whether you got the hot chamber or the cold. Once the chamber was sealed, the game began, and your goal was simple. Answer as many questions as quickly as you can, while surviving the environmental torture that was thrown at you. In the hot chamber, they could increase the temperature up to 170 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hell no.
Simulated earthquakes would also shake the chamber, going up to a 9.5 on the Richter scale. The more you progressed, the more the muscle contractors would activate. The chair would move back and forth, up and down, and rotate in complete circles. They would even drop the oxygen levels in the chamber, as well as blasting you in the face with winds up to 140 miles an hour. The cold chamber was equally as torturous, honestly if not worse. The temperature could drop to negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. In the cold chamber, instead of rotating the chair, they would be sprayed with water jets, causing ice to form on the players. The game would end in a few different ways. If you answered 2 questions in a row wrong, you were out. If the medical team felt you were going to pass, you were also out. You could also yell "stop the chamber" to forfeit, which, surprise, surprise, nobody did. A total of 6 episodes were made, and the 3 unaired episodes reportedly had an insect chamber, an electric shock chamber, and a water torture chamber.
Dude.
The most you could have won on the show was around $120,000.
What?
The most anybody ever actually won was $20,000. That person, Scott Brown, got through all 7 levels of the cold chamber and was actually hospitalized afterwards. He then sued Fox and won $100,000.
They put them all through that for $100,000. Nah, we need a meal, bro. But I put them through all that, man, just for that small amount of money. But it goes to show you, man, the things people do for money, man. That's what I be saying sometimes. I know. That's why I say money is the root of all evil. Seekers, that's it for this video for you guys today. If you guys made it with me to the end, you're a true seeker, seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support, man. Make sure you guys like the video, comment down below, follow me on my social medias. You guys are going to catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.